We are live, folks. Yes, welcome back to, I believe, episode 5 now of the Gold Star podcast. And it's a big one. It's a big one. Scott, we're approaching the most wonderful time of the year. It's Wrestle Kingdom season. Yes, Christmas was just a few days ago, but for fans of professional wrestling across Japan, this is where the magic happens, Scott. And we've got a big double header of previews for today's podcast, and we will also be getting into our year-end awards, kind of focusing mainly on the Japan side of things. I think there will be another show later for the rest of the WrestlePurists guys when the full ballots are revealed. I can confirm that I have counted the ballots and I know who has made those list of awards, and it's looking good for some of our favourites. But I won't be sharing any scoops beyond that at this time. But yes, Scott, we're back. How are you feeling on this fine Friday?
It is my favorite time of the year. I record way too many hours. I watch way too much wrestling, and I get very little sleep. There's no better time to be a wrestling fan.
Locked in.
Uh, it hit me yesterday how truly close it is. Like I feel like you wait till the year end once December comes around, and then because of like Christmas and stuff, it just kind of punches you in the face once the holiday's over. And that's what I'm feeling. It starts this weekend for many fans and then just kind of rolls on for the next 2 weeks, which is pretty crazy. But I'm very excited. There's a lot to love, I think,
Hmm.
about multiple promotions, not just one or two. And yeah, I'm absolutely locked in to be back here today and talk about it all.
Absolutely. There is certainly a lot of stuff going on, a lot of great stuff going on, some not so great stuff going on, but stuff
Uh,
nonetheless. Like, we're going to get into a little bit of it on today's show. Starting with, I believe, the biggest of the shows that is coming up uh, in the most fucking hell in the most immediate future. I'm very washed, guys. It's been a while. Listen, I'm shaking off a little bit of ring rust. You know, holidays are beyond us, and now we're back in work mode. But you forgive me for this poor start. Anyway, Stardom Dream Queendom is what I'm meant to be introducing here. It's the show nearest to us at this current date in terms of the Wrestle Kingdom season. It's a big one. It's Stardom's biggest show, potentially of the year. Certainly their big year-end one that everyone looks forward to. It's usually where the winner of the Dream Star, the
no, not the
five-star
Dream
Grand Prix.
Star, the first.
Dreams and man, Scott, help me out here, guy. Anyway, the five-star Grand Prix usually where the winner challenges. However, this year's been a little bit of a weird year for Stardom, certainly. And we now end up with a slightly different outlook on the card. But nevertheless, there's a few big matches to get into. This show will be happening at Sumo Hall as per usual. And we'll get straight into the main event of the evening for the World of Stardom Championship. It's the defending champion Tam Nakano taking on Saya Kamatani of Hate. This is a bit of an interesting one. We've seen these two go at it for top titles before, but this is certainly an interesting change of dynamics, obviously, for
Mm,
Saya Kamatani. But Scott, how are you feeling about this one heading in, and just in general
yeah.
for this show to kind of kick us off? It feels a little bit different to previous Dream Queendoms for sure.
Yeah, it's been weird. My anticipation for this show. When they initially announced the card, I was just like, okay, like
Hmm.
hate matches, and that's it. Like it didn't jump off the page. But as time has gone on, as anticipation has built up, I am looking forward to this show. And a big reason is because of my belief here in the main event.
Yeah,
Tam and Saya Kamatani have great chemistry against one another. It's just something we've seen time and time and time again, right? They have run it back repeatedly, time and time again. 4 championships. The Wonder of Stardom Championship, of course, previously at the 2021 Stardom Dream Queendom show when Saya Kamatani won the Wonder of Stardom Championship. They then ran it back at World Climax later on, and I think that's their best match to date. Obviously, the 5-star Grand Prix match that Saya Kamatani got injured, which has unofficially led to her being a heel now. There is a great story here that I think Tam, of course, is trying to lean into more, which Saya Kamatani didn't necessarily lean into enough during the press conference, but that's okay because when the bell rings, I do believe these two will have a great match. Though I think we are getting very close to me. If Saya Kamatani wins, I am going to start a uh idea for the public that
Oh.
Tam Nakano only likes to lose her singles belt to Saya Kamatani and no one else. Uh, it's one of those maybe that doesn't work for me, brother, type situations because listen, I didn't see her lose the World of Stardom Championship to anyone. She just gave it up. I know she was hurt, but let's just run with it for a second. Thank you. And lost the wonder to her. Now it's this, so we'll see. When she wins the IWGP, should I just expect Saya Kamatani to beat her for that too? That's the questions I'm asking. But honestly, this is a very intriguing main event to me, and I think it's the reason why both Stardom and Marigold have great main events.
Mhm.
Well, there's other reasons for the Marigold main event to be great, but it's because it can go either way, and that is very exciting for a big show. And I do think this can go either way. I think there's good reasoning behind both. Though there is the aspect for me that if Saya Kamatani loses, that's two big losses since becoming a heel, right? She lost the 5-star final. If she loses this, it might be over. It might be
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, it would be a tough one to bounce back from. Say, kind of for hate in general. I think you look at how Natsuko Tora's red belt reign panned out, and they kind of pulled the plug on that one pretty quickly. And I think now you're looking at Saya Kamatani as the kind of top championship contender in that faction. And if she loses here, I really don't see um, a way for that group to kind of reach the top again. Um,
No, no.
but absolutely not. But I have to agree on in terms of these two. Obviously, the chemistry we've seen before, particularly in that white belt division, but now main event Dream Queendom for the red belt. It should be great. Hopefully, minimal hate shenanigans. I think there's enough hate in the rest of the card that they can get it out. It's just
So much hate.
it's a bit of a Stardom versus hate card right here. But if they're going to keep it to a minimum, I would like it to be in this one particular match because I think this could be um,
Mm,
one obviously is the match we all look to as the match of the night here. But
mhm,
there's a few others on this card. But anyway, I want to get your prediction before we move ahead because I think, like you said, it's a very tough call. I'm
mm,
leaning at this
mhm.
point in time. I'm leaning towards Saya Kamatani
Yeah.
for a few of the reasons you already mentioned. I think one, she
Mhm,
needs it. Two, your
mhm.
trend with Tam Nakano is very interesting, and I believe you may be onto something. And we'll
Yeah,
see.
it's just like an eyebrow raiser type thing, Um, it
Where you
I
feeling?
I've predicted this match like 3 times in the past week, and I think I've picked someone different every single time. Uh, I think Stardom would be smart to just keep the belt on Tam because she's selling tickets as champion. She has brought the tickets back as their champion. I always knew that would happen the moment they give her the belt. But Saya Kamatani needs this win. Like, we she needs to win or otherwise it's like, man, I don't know where she goes from here, right? Too many big losses can hurt you a lot. So I'm gonna go with Sai Kamatani today. Uh if you ask me again tomorrow, I might pick Tam, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Kamatani. I think the new champ kind of giving heel a second burst after the letdown, I think that was the Toro reign could be really good. And I think it could create a story where Saya Kamatani maybe should be the new leader of hate come the new year, which I think would be the most interesting direction for that faction to go after this up and down run it's been on, to say the least.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely one of the toughest matches to call across the whole of Wrestle Kingdom season. Um, and yeah, like I say, I'm leaning towards Saya. I think as well, Tam Nakano. You already mentioned it during this podcast, but I think her direction may be trending towards that IWGP Women's Championship. So I think freeing her up for that
Hmm.
is certainly
Hmm.
something that could be on the card. So one to look out for. But I'm looking forward to that match. I think we both are. Should be a good one. Another big match that I'm looking forward to. I think one that will have potentially interesting as well. A potential title change here too is the singles match for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. That is Natsupoi, defending champion, taking on Starlight Kid. We've seen these two go at it again. Another match we've seen before, however, in a slightly different spot on the card this time for Stardom's second top championship. Natsupoi reign, Scott, has been not exactly what we would have hoped it to be. A few up and down. There's certainly been highs. There's been some great matches mixed in there, but a combination of getting involved with certain figures from Hate and also a change in their style at points, which I don't think has helped the format of their matches too much, has meant that this reign has been a little bit disappointing, I think. And I think here we may be on to a title change. I think it's the right time for Starlight Kid to finally get one of the top belts in this promotion. I think if Stardom have got any sense about them, they see the potential in putting one of your top championships on someone like Starlight Kid. But moreover, I think this should be a really fun match. Hopefully, they both go at it. The typical high speed style we've seen from both of them in the past, but maybe kind of with a leveled up, big kind of main event feel, particularly towards that closing stretch. I think it should be a really good one. Scott, where are you leaning on this one? Do you think we're getting a new champion? And how are you feeling about this match heading in?
If you've been watching Stardom the past 3-4 years, you've been pretty much on the Starlight Kid's gonna win the Wonder Stardom title this time, and this time, and this time. Oh, she's gonna win the Cinderella tournament this time. It never actually happens, but you've believed. I don't think there's a match that needs to have a new champion more than this match, not because of Natsupoi, but because of Starlight Kid. If you are Stardom, you are trying to make Starlight Kid happy, you are trying to make Hanan happy, you're trying to make Azumi happy, right? You're trying to build for the future, and it happens that all three of them are in pretty big title matches over WrestleMania, Wrestle Kingdom week. And I think this should be the start of pushing all three of them in a big way. Starlight Kid has been ready for this spot. Starlight Kid is worthy of this spot, and I think it's the right spark for Stardom right now, especially with Natsupoi. Unfortunately, I know Six Star is not joining us today, but I will just be the one to say Natsupoi's Wonder Stardom title and getting to that point seems to have been about the chase rather than the reign itself, unfortunately. Now, I'm not going to blame Natsupoi. She was stuck wrestling Tekla for like 3 months, which, wasn't great. So I can't blame her, but it's the way it's been booked. She's had her moment. It's time for Starlight Kid, I think, to take this belt. And I think they should have, obviously, a great match. They've had ups and downs in the past one-on-one, but in the big stage, the big moment, I have all the confidence in the world for these two to deliver and Starlight Kid to have her big moment.
Certainly, it's been a long time coming for Starlight Kid, and I think it'll be a big boost as well to Neo Genesis. Like you said, Azumi's got a big time title match coming up around Wrestle Kingdom 2, so could be a big week or couple of weeks for those within Neo Genesis. But I think Starlight Kid is going to be taking home the white belt, and I think that's the right call. Looking at everything that's happened this year. What else we got on this card? We also have a singles match, a submission singles match between Syuri and Konami. Of course, a lot of history between these two. We've seen their chemistry before. Konami coming back in with God's Eye, but then turning on Syuri and joining back up with Hate. Syuri's usage this year, I think, to put it mildly, has not been ideal. I think it's pissed both of us off throughout the course of this year, and now we find ourselves at Stardom's biggest show of the year, and she's in a big singles match, but it's not exactly where we'd like to see a wrestler of the caliber of Syuri on a card like this. Feels like it's been forever since she's been in top title contention, and I don't see this as being the answer to getting her back towards that position. But one can hope. But nevertheless, I think this should be fun. Again, hopefully, Hate shenanigans are kept to a minimum. I'm a big fan of Konami, but especially when those interferences, like I say, are kind of kept on the lesser side. And we've seen these two go at it before, and I think if anyone on the Stardom roster can deliver a fun submission match, I think these two are definitely high up on that list. Scott, How are you feeling about this one heading in?
It hurts me that the only singles match I get for Shuri outside of the 5-star Grand Prix is at the first show of the year and the last show of the year. That's ultimately what it's been. And the first show of the year against Mayu Utani was one of the best matches of the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect her and Konami to do that.
Nope.
That being said, I'm just happy for it to happen. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
Shuri has been one of the best in the world for years now. She has not taken a step back. She has not gotten worse. She's still fantastic. They just don't use her that way. If you are a New Japan Pro Wrestling fan and you have been a fan of Hiroki Goto or Satoshi Kojima or Yuji Nagata, I think that's what they're doing to Shuri. But the worst part is Shuri ain't even old. This is ridiculous. She's one of the older roster members, but that's about it. My problem with this match is that I haven't seen Konami try since 2023. So
Mm-hmm.
that I don't know if you know this, Jamie. It's 2024 and the end of 2024.
Yeah.
So I'm a little worried. As a once upon a time big time fan of Konami, I'd like to think she just brings it out for this match because she's fighting Shuri. But it's hard for me to get my hopes up because I just haven't seen it in a long time. But with the stipulation, maybe a lack of hate, which I doubt, but maybe.
One can hope.
Yeah, they have a ceiling, you know? That's the problem with this match for sure, is that this match has a ceiling. And that makes me sad because when it comes to big Shuri matches, their ceiling is 5-star, you know? Like that's not this one. Shuri should win this match though, and she should challenge whoever wins the World Stardom title match. She should be the next challenger. I think that is the obvious direction to go for me because I think they're going to hold Micah back just a little bit longer, which is fine, by the way. I'm not asking for another Micah main event. We've had plenty. Sorry, Peps. So, yeah. But I think Shuri wins for sure because I think she should win. But if she doesn't, then we might have to start some other conversations.
Oh, yeah, a few agents may need to pick up the phone. I think.
Yeah. I have it on speed dial. I'm ready to go. You know.
Oh yeah.
We
I'm
might have
going to
to make
lean on
some
the more.
calls.
Absolutely, I'm going to lean on the more optimistic side of this. I'm going to say, hopefully, again, as another big Konami fan, I think she turns it on in this match. I think the big occasion and the fact that it's Shuri, obviously she's got that connection with. I think this one will be good. It obviously won't be one of Shuri's, all-time greats, like you said. Certainly a ceiling, but I think these two will deliver on the night. I hope so, because I'm big fans of both. Another singles match, and this one is a no disqualification match, and it's another very hate-centric affair, and it's one that's been running a running storyline for the majority of this year, certainly the second half of the year. It's Micah versus Natsuko Tora. Both of these women have held the World of Stardom Championship this year.
They have.
Neither of those reigns were particularly enthralling, to say the least.
To be fair to Natsuko Tora,
didn't get much of a go at it, really.
It was pretty. I think the funniest thing about Natsuko Tora's title reign is she was like, "I'm not going to compete in the 5-star because I don't have to because I'm going to be healthy," and then loses to the 0-6 wrestler who was not healthy in the 5-star. I think that's just an all-time. It's an all-time booking decision. I don't think it's an all-time good booking decision, but it's definitely an all-timer.
Yeah, certainly. It's been a very interesting year for both of these. And I think if we're getting any match that's going to be full of the typical hate shenanigans, I think this is one where the stipulation pretty much calls for it.
Though, to be fair, do you remember at All-Star Grand Queendom when it was Micah and Momo in the 3 stages match?
Oh,
and they
yeah.
just never interfered? Like, they just didn't care enough to interfere? I know that was a Wado tie back then, but, like, it's the same people. Like, it hasn't changed.
Maybe it's something about the interference being allowed it's not fun for them anymore. They just love
Oh.
breaking the rules so much that because it's allowed,
Yeah.
they're like, well, now I'm not going to do it. Now I'm not going to do it. Maybe we're onto something there. So maybe there will be no hate interference in this one, which is bad news for the main event because we need them to get it out the way. So get everyone out there, shenanigans, weapons, whatever you can think of, and let's save the let's keep the main event a clean singles match.
Do you think this match will be good?
I don't think it's going to be a Mac classic. I think it could be fun. I think it could be fun.
I think it
I don't know
definitely
about
could be
you.
fun.
I
Yeah, I think
think
it definitely could be fun. It's not Micah's style at all.
no. I
I've
think
seen
Tora's really
Natsuko
going to
have
go for it.
good. I've seen Natsuko have good DQ. She had a good one with the Julia this year. Feels like
Yeah.
long ago, but she did have a good one with Julia this year. So I think you nailed it with it can be fun. I'm looking
Mhm.
for fun here. I want to walk away from this and be like, wow, that was fun.
Yeah. That's
I don't have high hopes because again, there's a lot of so there's 6 big matches on the show I'd
mhm.
consider, right? And I will give this match the benefit of the doubt. It's guaranteed to stand out. The problem is, I don't think they're going to go as far as they should, which is
Mhm.
blood. They're not going to go that far. They just won't. We've
Yeah.
been proven that. If they get some color going, this match could actually be good,
Mhm.
not just fun. But I don't see it happening. If Micah has a crimson mask as she stands over Natsuko Tora, that might be the most ace moving thing they've done for her this entire reign. Instead of just,
Sure.
make her change her entire identity ahead of the 5-star Grand Prix.
Yeah. Yeah, there's certainly ways to play this to make this the most a productive of ultimately I think we will get the fun, but I don't know if we'll get the good. So we'll see. This is the level of analysis that I'm paid for here on this channel, folks. But
Fun,
it might be
not
fun,
good.
it might not be good, but that's all we can ever ask for in wrestling. If it's fun at the end of the day, then we've all had a good time and we can go home happy. Unless there's some sort of terrible event happens and then we won't. But anyway. I'm just thinking, covering all bases. This might age poorly. This, we can't write anything off on this show. But yeah, I'm leaning towards a Micah win. I think that's probably the case for both of us.
Oh, 100%.
I think that Natsuko Tora's being steadily pushed down after she got a little reign, and I think it's time they're going to build Micah back up to an eventual challenge, which hopefully isn't too soon. Like you said, they give it a little bit of breathing time. But yeah, I think Micah's taking this one.
I did a World of Stardom champion tier list before.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to do it now after this year.
Oh,
Natsuko, welcome to the bottom.
Yeah, we have to make some new tiers.
Yeah. She might get her own, honestly.
Yeah.
Of LOL.
It's deeply unfortunate because I like Natsuko Tora more than most, especially in the tag division. I like her work with Ruaka. I think she's a fun wrestler when allowed to be. I don't think they did them any favors with the way they put this thing together. But hopefully, the end of the year, they can cap it off with a good little.
They gave her the alpha female title reign.
Yeah.
Except alpha female lost to Io Shirai. Natsuko Tora lost to Tam Nakano coming off an 0-6 5-star Grand Prix. A little different.
It's very brutal. It's very brutal. I mean, if Tama had just had a normal 5-star and they went that,
we've been fine.
It'd have been fine. A little transitional reign. It'd have been okay. But now it's like, damn, they were
like, how do we
didn't do any favors?
Natsuko Tora. Oh boy,
not ideal at all.
I also think her losing and Saya Kamitani winning is actually a very exciting potential storyline to follow for Stardom into the new year, because it'd be another big Natsuko loss, be a big Saya Kamitani win, obviously winning the World of Stardom title. I think that's maybe the best case scenario for Stardom going into the new year with hate, and it interests me, but we'll see. I have no confidence in Natsuko Tora winning this match, so I think one step's a lock. It's a matter of that main event.
Absolutely. So yes, moving on, we have a few more interesting matches on this card, and then a little bit of a thrown together undercard, which we'll fly through. We have for the Goddess of Stardom Championship. It's hate again, Scott. Would you believe it? There's more hate on the card. It's Momo Watanabe and Tekla facing
That's Hate
Wingori.
Supreme, baby.
Oh yeah, Hate Supreme. Give them their full title, like the Proto Star Carl Fletcher. Say the full name. And yeah, so Hate Supreme take on Wingori, Hanan, and Saya Ida. I can't say I'm enthralled about how this match is going to come together. You know, Tekla. You know, it's rough. It's rough, but I love 3/4 of this match a lot.
Yeah,
So
3/4 of this match are great.
we can just like keep her on the outside. Then
Yeah,
we could be on. We could be on something good there. I think it's Wingori's time. I would love it to be Wingori's time. I wanted it to be. I wanted them to hold these Goddesses of Stardom championships for quite some time now. We saw what they did with the New Blood tag belts. Those New Blood tag belts often main evented over the Future of Stardom championship on New Blood, and as they should, because some of those tag matches were sensational. And I think it's time that Hanan and Saya either bring that to Stardom proper. I think it's time we get a belt off Tekla. So, and free up Momo Watanabe to do something. I have no confidence that they'll do anything, but you know, all we have in this world is
she
hope,
is in the
Scott.
Tokyo Dome to potentially get pinned again, but she is in the Tokyo Dome.
She is in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah,
I would love something from Momo Watanabe this year. I don't know, maybe a face turn. I think a face turn could.
That's my hope.
Just inject
right
a bit
now.
of life.
Yeah, that's my hope, goal, need it type thing. Let's get Momo Watanabe back to being Momo Watanabe. You know, we saw her versus Mayu at Historic Crossover. You know, that was obviously just like a flashback. She didn't want to use the bat, and I was like, oh my god, we might have hope. And then she just, you know, went back to being heel, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. To the US promotions out there, Tekla's looking for a contract. She's said it in multiple interviews now. And listen, there's this great show, New Year Dream, on January 3rd. She's teaming with Athena against Mina Shirakawa and Tay Mello. You should all watch that match. Make sure she's signed, you know, make sure all four are all elite by the end of January. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm trying to get Tekla contract. I'm a nice guy. Okay. I'm a nice guy. In the non-Tekla realm of this match, like you said, Wingori have been fantastic. I think there is an argument to say they have been Stardom's the most consistent act in the entire company from beginning of the year to the end of the year. Whether it was tag matches, whether it was singles matches, right? Hanan's run through the Cinderella in her challenge against Fairy Ano. Essentially anything Saida ever does that equals an opportunity, she goes out there and hits a home run. They should 100% be ending the show as tag team champions. I'll be upset if they don't. I will be upset if they don't. Hopefully for Stardom, they don't have another situation this year where they crown Goddesses of Stardom champions at the year-end event and have to switch them immediately. But that did happen last year. And I don't think it'll happen this year because I think Hanan obviously will want to stick around with her sisters, but you never know. But that's a tomorrow problem. This is a right now situation. Crown Wingori, give them their moment. They've been one of the best teams in the world. I'm very excited for what they do in this match. If they can limit the amount of Tekla involvement, this can be great. I know they won't, but let me dream, you know? Let me hope. Momo Watanabe Hana and Momo Watanabe Saida. That's what I'm asking for.
Yeah. That's what more could you possibly ask for? Those three. Keep it to those three, and I think we're in for a very fun time. But yeah, it remains to be seen how that pans out on the night. But yeah, I think a Wingori title win is what we're going to get and what we certainly need at this point in time. It's been an interesting year for those those Goddess belts. There's been a few title changes. I would love a consistent Wingori run for a good few months. There's plenty of big time matches for them within Stardom's tag division, and I think you can throw those on any of those big Stardom shows coming up in 2025, and we'd be in for a good time. So yes, Hanan and Saya Ida, I think, taking on the titles. The last of the real big time matches on this card is a singles match between Soriano and Mika Iwata. This has been another kind of running story throughout the year. It's an interesting little anomaly in the history of the Wonder of Stardom Championship. The set the this kind of feud with Soriano and Mika Iwata. Also involved the Sendai Girls World Championship at some point. It's been very up and down feud for these two, but it comes to a head at Stardom Dream Queendom. Scott, where do you kind of fall on this feud in general in terms of how they've used both promotions as kind of top or secondary titles in the mix, and where do you think this one is going to go on the night?
There is not a combination in the history of the world I want to see wrestle 5 times in a single year. And yet they are wrestling for the 5th time this year. I don't know if and you know what the craziest part to me is? They have a New Year Dream show that's like Stardom versus the Outsiders literally a week after this.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just stick it on there? At least it would not been in the same calendar year. I love Sendai Girls. They're probably like my favorite promotion all year, truthfully. Like I think they've done an incredible job. But that mess that was the Wonder Sendai Girls World title situation hurt both of them, I think, a bit. And
sure.
listen, I think both companies steadied the ship for those titles, but I don't think Iwata or Saori were okay after that. I think it hurt them more than anything. Because like the Wonder went to Natsupoi, of course, and the Sendai Girls World title went to Dash Chisako and then Meiko Satomura, as it surely was always going to be. But when I watch Iwata and Saori now, I almost feel like I just am always watching them against each other. I'm like, here we go. So, but I also understand when you're Stardom, right? You want all 3 Cosmic Angels in big singles matches, and it's helping with ticket sales. Ticket sales are looking great. So I get that, but this has been a non-exciting feud to be this many times, right? To happen time and time again. I've watched them all. Soriano's winning this match because Mika Iwata's up 2-1. It's 2-1-1 the record right now. This match, honestly, I'm more looking forward to all the hate matches than this because I've seen this so many times. It's not new. And I don't know if there's a ceiling that I am excited for them to reach because I don't think they've had blowaway matches outside of 1 or 2 either. I think that's also the problem. It's not like they're having, Shuri Utami level matches or Saya Kamatani Tam level matches. They're not having that. They're just having matches against each other over and over and over again.
Yeah, I struggle to see how these two, can kind of deliver on leveling up from their previous encounters. Like you said, we've already seen this 4 times. All I really hope from this is that this is the end of it.
But if Saori wins, it's tied. It's just
exactly.
tied.
This is the issue. I thought about this when you read out those scores. I was like, oh god, this. But maybe this is how it needs to end. Maybe they tie it. There's probably a bit of politics going on. Maybe both sides, Stardom and Sendai, come out evens, and we shake hands and call it a day. We never speak about this ever again. But yeah, I don't think it helped either promotion, like you said. I mean, particularly in that white belt scene. I remember when this kind of kicked off, and obviously there was the title changes when Mika Iwata won that white belt. That was the time when the Natsupoi chase was seemingly reaching its peak. and that threw a whole spanner in the works. We corrected course eventually, but I don't think that helped at all. Whether that affected what would follow with Natsupoi Ray,
I meant
I
to
don't
say
think really.
this. I meant to say this when we were talking about the Wonder match, but this is a good time to bring it up because of these two. That Wonder Storm title is in desperate need of a great reign. Saya
Yeah.
Kamatani spoiled us for a year and a half, essentially.
Mhm.
And ever since then, oh boy,
It's been rough.
Nothing. Mina got it, held it for 2 seconds. Then Tam got it, which, oh wait, Tam put over Mariah. What do I know? See, Tam does put over other people, folks. I forgot Tam had the Wonder Storm title a second time. But that was bad, right? She beats Mina and then just drops it to Mariah, and then Mariah has to essentially be the world champion because Tam's out of business and she's not ready for that spot. That reign's not great. That Soriano wins it, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the Soriano reign.
Mhm.
Then it goes to Iwata, then it goes back to Sayori, then it goes to Natsupoi, and Natsupoi, the person I thought was gonna just fix everything. No dice.
It's a devastating turn of events with that white belt, to be quite honest. And yes, I think the streets yearn for the Saya Kamatani reign. That was what a time that was. Just every show you could count on a big white belt match, and we need that back. Hopefully, Starlight Kid, I think, could be the one to deliver on that. But it's up to how Stardom wants to put it together. Their booking this year ain't been ideal. But we're heading into a new year, Scott. We can all turn a new page. Hopefully, Stardom has some fresh ideas heading into 2025. And
I'll give them this: the ideas were fresh, they just weren't good.
maybe fresh ideas. Maybe fresh ideas from the wrong minds isn't a good idea. So maybe stick to old ideas. Actually, in fact, Stardom. Remember when the new bookers first arrived? The booking decisions you were making then, that was like the stuff that was left on the desk from the previous. Can you see if there was anything else? and just what other ideas were kind of shelved at that time, and
see if
maybe
there were any
remix a few of
drawers
those.
that were like locked or something. Maybe they have a few more booking ideas to the roster. Yeah.
One
Man,
can hope.
I remember just that like initial first month. It was like Hana wins the Cinderella, Sari's here to wrestle Natsupoi, then wrestle Mayu, and I was like, I don't know, these feel pretty set in stone previously.
He's tarot card. The guy knows what he's doing. he's Anyway,
it's just crazy they decided to play hot potato with the title at the same time. The two titles, like the top two titles, are like, what if we just did this? And listen, I'll give them this: giving the title to Tam was smart. It was the easiest, most reasonable thing to do with that world title, and it has been the main reasoning. I think they are selling so many tickets right now. So that I'll give them credit for. And listen, this show feels like the clean slate, right? From here, you kind of create new stories. So I'm locked in. Now let's talk about this wonderful undercard.
Oh yeah, what an undercard! What an undercard it is.
The only real match has Chi-Chi in it, and I'm pretty sure it's not even airing.
Oh God, is it maybe a YouTube affair? Hopefully,
Maybe
we got to see this.
Crossed.
But yeah, we're gonna fly through this undercard. There's a singles match between Rana Yagami and Sayaka Kurara. I'll give you guys one scoop about the WrestlePurists Awards. It was very, very close between these two in terms of getting on the Rookie of the Year ballot. I think one of them may make it. I'm not going to tell you which one. Maybe we'll just let the winner of this match decide. But that's what this match is for. The winner of this match gets on the WrestlePurists Rookie of the Year ballot.
Wow,
I mean,
that's big.
What bigger stakes could you ask for?
Hey, at least there's stakes.
Yeah, stakes. Can't be said for the rest of this undercard. We've got we've got stars Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, Koguma, Momo Kogo taking on the Neo Genesis team of Azumi, Mei Seira, Suzuki, and Miyu Amasaki. Scott, look at those 8 names right there. Look what they got them doing.
My favorite, one of my favorite things of the past few weeks is when the card came out for this. I had I just tweeted out, and Someone said, "I hope Hazuki gets a big match for the the New Year's Dream show." I was like, "Nope, she's just did another IWGP tag title match."
Eight-woman tag.
It's, it's crazy. He just did the same thing. Oh.
I understand wanting a preview tag of the big IWGP, title match, but
you want to talk about the saddest part, man? The saddest part is on the other side. It's not Azumi. It's not Mei Seira. It ain't Miyu Amasaki.
Oh, no.
1 year later, after main eventing Stardom Dream Queendom 2024, a year and a couple months after winning the 2023 5-star Grand Prix, Suzu Suzuki is in an undercard tag to preview a title match that she has zero involvement in.
Yeah. She doesn't even feel like she's in the top half of like important people in the match either. It's a brutal state of affairs for Suzu Suzuki.
She's the least important person on her team.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold my hands up because I feel partly involved in the downfall of Suzu Suzuki, because I remember a year ago when we were previewing Stardom Dream Queendom in 2023, and it was a weird time for Stardom, but we came in, red belts on the line, Micah and Suzu Suzuki, and everyone was, we seemed to be trending towards a Suzu title win. But I was here, I was saying, listen, I'm listening to the fans. The fans really seem to like Micah. Suzu, she'll get her time. I'm going to hold it. I was wrong. I made a mistake. I made many mistakes in the past. This is another. I'm not flawless. I'm right most of the time, but not all the time. We made the blunder there.
Man. Her biggest match of the past couple of months was against Great Khan.
Oh.
Nah, she did challenge Tam for the title in a very good match, but still, I'm sad.
It's devastating. It's devastating. Suzu, obviously, talk about that booking decision there, but it feels like she should have been Red Belt champion by now. And even if not, she's not even close. That's the problem. It's not that they never pulled the trigger in that one instance. It's that they've kind of pushed this so far down. Getting a second go, that doesn't even feel like a possibility.
And the worst part is, I'm sitting here now and I'm like, there's no near future you should even consider giving her the title. That's what's happened in a year. I was pleading for her to win the title last year against Tam and against Micah.
Yeah, it's brutal. Like I said, when I was pushing towards Micah, I was thinking, Suzu could even be the one to beat Micah after that. And if they go with Tam, then they've got another thing to go with Tam. So there was there's a plan in place in my head. I wasn't just shelving Suzu, but it seems like Bushiroad had other ideas. And yeah, I think coming out of Dream Queendom and maybe even Wrestle Kingdom, I think there could be a bit of gold in Neo Genesis's ranks, but I don't think Suzu Suzuki will be picking up anytime soon.
No, there's a opportunity for everyone but Suzu Suzuki to have gold in Neo Genesis.
Yeah. How do we get here, man? We're on the worst timeline.
I'm not saying I blame you, but I might blame you.
It might be my fault, So I apologize, people, But
at least we were united on the picks this year, right? So we can't blame anyone this time.
I think we've agreed on we're all on the same page. Everyone's on the same page here. We got 2 more matches before we wrap up on Stardom Dream Queendom. Nothing
main
too
events
much
in any
to
arena.
get into. But EXV, Mina Shirakawa, Hanako, Waka Tsukiyama, and Rian taking on God's Eyes, Saki Kashima, Lady C, Hina, and Tomoko Inaba versus Hate, Rina, Azusa Inaba, Ruaka, and Fukigen Death. So a 3-way tag. Who have you got in this one? Just real quick. Who do you think picking up the big win?
Hate.
In this. Hate picking up a big win to kick things off in what should
Rina's the most pushed wrestler in that match.
Yeah, as she should be. Well, actually, wait, hang on. Upon review, let me just make sure I'm. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm backing it. Yeah, I'll have a big.
We're not pushing Mina. She ain't even here anymore. She didn't go there.
Yeah.
She's there for a show. Two,
Yeah,
three,
you know,
three
bit of
shows. I
AEW
guess.
representation on the card. It's nice to see partnerships always in motion. Um, yeah, Chad's a big Ring of Honor star too, Hanako. Also in the match. Ring of Honor's finest. We're gonna have a big win on Final Battle. Yeah, hell yeah.
Ring of Honor's own, baby.
Not much more to add in that one.
Pretty sure she
Yeah.
challenged Red Velvet for that whatever belt she has too.
Yeah, you know, right.
Main event.
What are they cooking down there at Ring of
Jeez.
Honor?
Oh,
Did you
God.
Did you see Dave's review of this match today in the newsletter? It was
No.
he gave it like 1.5, and he just said the crowd did not know Hanako. I was like, oh, bless. Oh, God bless. Anyway, the only match left, presumably this will be the opener. May not even make the broadcast, as Scott said. Yuna Mizumori and IS Sakura taking on Chi-Chi. Love Chi-Chi. Big fans of Chi-Chi on the podcast. And Matoi Hamabe, who is, of course,
My
rookie.
main event.
Yes, this is the big one. this is where the real ball now is locking. I'm a big fan.
Aya Sakura
everyone in
versus
the mix,
Chi-Chi is the best match on Stardom's January 3rd show, and it's not close.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
I'm not even I wish I was kidding, by the way. Like, this is not me just like doing a bit. No, I seriously think it's the best match on that show. Yeah, this is yeah.
Yeah. So this is the big preview tag to the January 3rd main event. The people's main event, many are calling it. Yeah, this should be pretty. So hopefully this airs somewhere, maybe on YouTube, because I would like to see this match. But that concludes Stardom Dream Queendom 2024. What a year!
Are people excited?
Yeah, if you're in the live chat right now, let me know your excitement levels for Stardom Dream Queendom.
Out of 10, obviously.
Score out of 10, and tell us what match you're most looking forward to. Tell us why it is the opener in great detail. And yeah, that wraps up. What a year it's been for Stardom. As we draw this preview to an end, if you could sum up Stardom's year, 2024, how would you sum it up?
Tam Road. And I think that's it, because the Tam Road is as bumpy of a road as you can go down. And this was a bumpy year for Stardom. I think they're ending the year strong, obviously, with this show. But I need to see the finished product, right? If this show hits like I think it can, great. If it's a mess somehow, I don't think it can be a mess. I really don't. But if Hate wins every match, maybe that's considered a mess. We'll have some serious conversations to be had. I mean, hate's a good word for this year's Stardom.
Yeah,
too.
Hate. All the buzzword hate, Tam Road. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think Tam Road is the best one. I think this year. This year is what happens when you kind of put all your eggs in the Tam Road basket. And I think the results are as follows. Sometimes good, sometimes maybe not. But like you said, I think
people buy tickets, baby.
Yeah, of course. This is a business at the end of the day. Bushi Road. I've already made the best business decision, but will they make the best booker decision? I think they have the potential to end the year on a real high heading into 2025. So let's see how it goes. But that is the first of two big shows we'll be previewing today. The second is we're a week out, so we're a little bit early, but we can't wait any longer. The excitement is too much for Marigold. First Dream. This show is taking place at the Ota City General Gymnasium, and I'm very fired up. This is where Stardom, where Stardom have a few real exciting matches, and then maybe less so in terms of the undercard. I think every single match on this card has something interesting to offer. I think there's a few. One in particular match on this card that's going to be in contention, an early contender potentially for match of the year when we talk about that main event. But there's a few plenty of exciting things to get into. So let's get right into it. We'll start off with that main event for the Marigold World Championship. It is the Red Belt champion, the People's Champion, Suri, the wrestler of the year. We're going to get into awards later, but I don't think that's too big of a spoiler to say that Suri is taking home almost all of those awards when we get into it. She's taking on the winner of the Dream Star Grand Prix, Utami Hayashishita. Scott, excitement levels for this one, I imagine, are very, very high. This is a match, like you said earlier, when you talk about the Stardom Red Belt match, I think can go either way. As we are getting closer to this one, how are you feeling heading into this? We saw in that preview tag on Boxing Day that Suri got the pin over Utami.
Damn right.
I wonder whether that's affected your thoughts heading in. I think it's an interesting visual to give. How are you feeling going into this one, and who do you think is walking out with that red belt?
This is unsurprisingly my most anticipated match of the entire Japanese holiday 2-week span. Mostly anything with Saori is my most anticipated match. I don't think this is a secret at this stage when it comes to me and my support of the Sun God. But this match, Utami, big main event. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. I think there's an argument that Utami had the best World of Stardom title match in 2024 in her Micah match, which I really was a big fan of. I thought those two hit a home run. And I think here, this is a return to Utami of old that I think a lot of people have been looking for. This is an Utami who Saori has woken up. If you watched the press conference, you saw Utami go from, the chill, cool, I'm happy to be here to what did you just call me? What did you just call me? It's slamming Saori's head off the desk. She was heated up, and it was everything you wanted to see out of her. And then there's Saori, who, this is the best wrestler on the planet.
Yeah.
The best wrestler at selling her matches, the best wrestler at telling her stories and building her career. I love what Mayu Utani did in 2024. I love what, Bryan Danielson did, for example, in 2024. If you look at my Wrestler of the Year rankings, it's Saori and then everyone else. It just hasn't been close, And she is kicking off a January that now features this match, a Meiko Satomura singles match, and a Veni singles match. Saori doesn't have a stop. Like, she's not stopping. This is just full steam ahead. Let's get another MVP. One was cool. Let's make it two. How about I do it again? Type thing.
She's going back to back on Wrestler of the Year.
She's gonna try. And
yeah,
that's exciting. And this match, it's the biggest match Marigold has had since Summer Destiny, when Summer Destiny ended and Io went back to WWE and essentially Julia went to WWE. The two people remaining from those two matches were Saori and Utami. How could Utami build herself back up? Of course, that was through the Dream Star Grand Prix and her great final against Mai Sakurai. And Saori has had some incredible defenses, obviously, against Bozilla and Nanae Takahashi. That were just sensational. So when it comes to picking who wins this match, I think there's good reasons for both of them to win. I think if you look at Utami's reasoning for winning, it gives Marigold their world champion each and every show they have, right? The world champion's always in the building. You can finally build forward with Utami as champion, as your true ace now. And I think there's a real possibility that is what happens, because I do think that this show is the official, okay, now we're here. Now it's all about growing, right? I think this first year for Marigold has been building. Now it's about growing and moving forward and developing your stories and roster. And Utami having that belt makes a lot of sense. However, this is Sari, folks.
Oh.
How do you take the belt off of Sari with what she's doing? And I think there is an interesting story to be told if Utami has a setback here to come back around and eventually win the title. Even if it's in a rematch, that is something Rossi has done. If they fight once again, say Summer Destiny or something, I think that wouldn't be too crazy to think. And maybe he has other people in mind to beat Sari that are there or not there. We don't know. Sari keeps asking for a rematch with a certain someone after all. I've had her say it 7 times, in the past couple months. Like, I'm just saying.
Feels
But I
like
do think,
ability. Certainly feels
yeah,
like
like, and I also see Sari versus Mirai as a big title match. I see
sure.
Sari versus Miku Ano, assuming she loses maybe on this show, as a big match. And her against Seiri Yamaoka as a
Oh,
big match.
we're gonna
Just saying.
we're gonna get to Seriyama. Okay.
Just saying. But I think there is a true 50-50 feel here, much like there was when Julia went one-on-one with Sari for the title. And I understand both ways. But I've talked enough. I'll let you talk, Jamie. What's your feelings about this one?
So I was very fired up when we got to the press conference for this thing because, like you said, and I think there's a lot of agendas at play with some of the discussion about Utami Hayashishita. I'm not one of the people who think
No,
she's washed or
she's a real
anything. I
beast.
think you know I think there's certain agendas at play when we get into those kind of discussions. But I certainly think it has been a while since she's felt like right at the top of her game. So, of course, in terms of card position, but also just in terms of how she felt when she was at the top. I think it's been a while since she felt fully locked in, and I had full confidence that Sari was going to be the one to bring it out for her. And it certainly seems like that's the way it's going to go on January 3rd. When it comes down to picking who's going to win the match, I'm about as torn as you are. My head is telling me that Utami is going to win. My heart wants Sari's reign to go on a little bit longer, just because she's the best wrestler in the world. So why would you not want your top belt to be on the best wrestler in the world? I also think a certain Mayu Iwatani might, could be
Hey,
a
I didn't name
potential.
names, buddy. I didn't name
Listen,
names.
I'll name it. I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out. I've been making calls. I've, listen, so I think that could be a real possibility for that red belt at some point, and I mean that's a way to make a splash in 2025 if you can run that match for the red belt. And like you said, there's a bunch of other. It feels like we've barely scratched the surface with this Sari reign, and like I said, partly is because she's not around 100% of the time. She's not a full-on
Yeah.
locked-in roster
She is
member,
on the
and that's what.
posters post this show, by the way.
Oh yeah,
On the
she
Marigold
is.
posters. So
She'll be
I don't think
around.
she's
So
going anywhere.
it's a good sign. It's a good sign to have a sticking around, belt or not. But we've had a few big red belt matches, but you just named a few names, and the list can go on of who I'd like to see Sari face for that red belt. Sari Yamaoka, that is a big prospect. We're gonna get into her when we get into her debut, but that match with Sari, if they build her up in the right way, the way they're trending, that could be something special. I think ultimately, though, my head is telling me that Utami is going to win this match. I think the visual on that Boxing Day show was pretty telling. I know that's not always the biggest indicator, but wrestling kind of
Sari did
tends to
beat
trend a certain
Julia
way.
in the match leading in, to be fair.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see. I'm torn, but it's a good thing because I don't hate either of these decisions. So whichever way it goes, I think I'm going to be happy. But what I am pretty confident about, regardless, is that these two are going to deliver one of the best matches, but potentially the best match of Wrestle Kingdom, season overall. I would not be surprised at all if it tops everything coming out of these few weeks. And yeah, I'm very, very fired up for this, as we both are. But there's more big matches on this card coming up. We also have the Marigold United National Championship on the line, and that is Miku Aono defending against Mai Sakurai. Mai Sakurai, by the way, who I think we're going to talk a little bit about when we get to one of the awards later, because I think her rise in
Damn right.
2024 has been really enjoyable to watch. Mai Sakurai, when she first came into Stardom, she was definitely on the lower end.
Remember
In
that?
terms of,
Remember that meme that Jordan always posted? The
oh yeah,
my Sakurai.
Sakurai. This was the level of wrestling we were talking about. It was a time. She was kind of on the lower end of Cosmic Angels, when the majority of Cosmic Angels themselves weren't fully fleshed out in terms of who they are. We know them to be now. Mina hadn't fully put it together yet. Unagi Sayaka was still there, but Mai Sakurai, she was she was like green as grass when she first came into Stardom, and her moving to Marigold was really interesting because it was at a time, when she had developed this character in Stardom, and her matches were getting better, but she was still more of a value in terms of that character than kind of any major in ring talent. And now she finds herself here. Marigold's maybe biggest show to date. It's going to be a big one in the white belt match. And I think a lot of people are thinking that this could be where we get a title change, which I think is credit to how much she's she's developed in this year. Because had she not have undergone this big transformation this year, I think this would have been a pretty standard Miku Ano defense and on to the next. But I really think there's a big chance that Sakurai gets this win. Would I complain if Miku Ano's reign goes on? Absolutely not, because I love Miku Ano. I think she was the perfect first pick to be the the inaugural United National Championship. I think it was a bold move. I think you immediately established her as a big name in the promotion, when obviously you could have gone with a Mirai, who would maybe be more familiar to the audience you were bringing in. And I think they've done a great job in establishing that title with Miku Ano in terms of building both those things up. But I'm leaning towards Mai Sakurai, Scott, and I'm very interested to see how you're feeling about it also.
There's no title change more important on this show than crowning Mai Sakurai as the United National Champion. As I like to say, if you told me a year ago I'd be cheering for Mai Sakurai to win a white belt, I would say, are you nuts? But I had the realization recently that if I were to do a current fandom of the history of DDM, like every member they've ever had, Mai Sakurai is over a lot of them right now, which is pretty crazy to think about, considering where we were once upon a time. But she has put in the work this year to not only be a respectable wrestler, but someone you can envision as a champion wrestler. Her work with Mirai as the Twin Star champions was great. Her work in the Dream Star, specifically the final, I think saw her pull out the best match of her career. Obviously, the Julia match that she had at Korakuen Hall felt like the match that she woke up, I'd say, completely and took it to another level. And as much as I love Miku Ano, I think there are other avenues for her to go from here that are fine. I think Mirai Sakurai winning this belt is more important than Miku Ano keeping this belt. So yeah, I'm taking Mai Sakurai to get the big win here. And I don't think it's the only title change we have on the night, which, I think it's why I'm starting to lean more Sari, because I think there are other championships more likely to change right now. And, kind of seeing Marigold see their folks really take over gold wise, which we'll talk about with another singles belt soon.
Yeah, I think you could be onto something there. I like that you bring up some of the matches that Mai's had as well. I think you look at the Julia match. Certainly, you just said that was the one where she woke up. But that Dream Star final was really the match where I think everyone realised fully that this is someone that could be a top player for this promotion, and she's delivered ever since. And I think this will be another great match. So hoping for a Mai Sakurai title win here. Who would have thought we'd be saying that? Even just a year ago, maybe even a few months ago. It's been a wild rise for Mai Sakurai. But we have many other big time championship matches coming up. I'm looking forward to this one a lot. This should be real fun. Singles match for the GHC Women's Championship. the inaugural GHC Women's Champion Koki Amare taking on her Twin Towers tag team partner Chika Goto. Chika Goto, of course, had a little bit of a hiatus, but now she's back and she's locked in. And what a match to be back for, because this is going to be sensational. I think Joshi matches, Joshi wrestling in general, I think it's at its peak when it's often when it's tag teams fighting, because I think they just go harder than harder than most. I think this will be no exception. I think these two are going to beat the shit out of each other. Koki was kind of the last of the actress wrestlers that came over to Marigold to really kind of get in their stride. But now that she's in it, I think she's a phenomenal
I
wrestler.
think she's at the top now, now.
She may have even surpassed their peers in that regard. I think she was an awesome pick for the first GHC Women's Champion. I didn't really know who to expect.
Inspired booking.
But yeah, exactly. It was an inspired choice, and it's led to this match, which I think could be a great first big defense for that belt.
Yeah.
Really get it going. We've seen how the IWGP Women's Championship, in terms of big Puro companies creating a women's belt, that's really got going. It had a bit of an up and down start in terms of short title reigns and very short matches at the Dome, but Mayu Iwatani has picked that up, and it's now become one of the most prestigious championships in wrestling. So hopefully the GHC Women's Championship can have a similar trajectory, and I think that starts here with the big match against Chika Goto. I think we're both fans of Chika Goto also. It's great to see her in this spot. One of the most liked wrestlers, I think, in Marigold. She's been a real revelation in the promotion. However, I don't think she will be the new GHC Women's Champion on this occasion. I think Noah and Marigold collectively have both picked Koki to put a belt on for the time being, and I think this will be just the first of many defenses coming up. Scott, are you in agreement that this is Koki's first successful defense?
Yeah, Koki Mania is running wild. Koki is like the prototypical hopeful main event Joshi star that we've seen, and she's starting to really put it all together in a way that right before the Dream Star Grand Prix I was ready to give up on. I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if this is gonna happen. We might have to stop. And then she just turned it on and figured some things out, and now I can't wait for this match. But she's gonna have to watch out for Go Chica, because Go Chica is gonna bring that lariat from God. The lariat from God she likes to hit. She puts everything she can into that. She's gonna bring the hip attacks. She's gonna bring the swing, and she's of course gonna bring the choke slam. The choke slam is what you gotta watch out for. When I look at these three matches that we've talked about so far, I have different expectations for all of them. This match is the test match. What can these two do in a big singles match, one-on-one against each other, right? How far can they go with a title on the line? Can they both shine enough to set themselves up for, I think, gigantic years, right? If Go Chica has a great showing here, she's on her way to a big title match against maybe Mai Sakurai for the United Nationals somewhere down the road. Hell, maybe even the world title somewhere down the road. And Koki, like it or not, she's on that road anyways.
Oh yeah.
But I think she's deserving of that road. And I think they can keep this match simple. Big boots from Koki, chops from Go Chica. Just keep trading off. And I think they're going to put together something a lot eye-opening, maybe, for fans who have watched them maybe sparingly, but not full-time. And I think they're going to be ready for this spot. They have something that I think the other two matches don't, and that is history. That is a relationship with one another. And I do think after this match, they come back together and they go back on the road as a team, and they get that tag title win somewhere down the line. But this has to happen first. You got to fight your friends sometimes, and they're fighting their friends. And I'm very excited to see where this goes. I don't think this could be. Nothing's gonna be match of the night besides the main event. I'm just gonna say that, okay? But I think this can be a real surprise for some people with how good it can potentially be. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it
And obviously
definitely feels
Kofi
like it could
wins.
be. Oh yeah, definitely feels like a big breakout moment is on the cards for both. I think long time Marigold viewers. I say long time Marigold viewers. Like the promotion didn't start this year, but people
Day
that have been
one.
watching, people that, the day one watchers, the people that have been locked in to all of the Marigold shows, I think are aware of the potential of these two. But I think if the additional eyes on this show, particularly with some of the big matches on the card, I think these two could walk away with a lot more fans, and hopefully a big 2025 in store for both. The Arc may be back. We'll see how it goes in
Yeah,
2025
she's
next year.
actually gonna save the Arc single-handedly.
Yeah, not Amos. No.
Well, no, you're right. It'll be Koki and Omos together.
Yeah,
They will save the Arc. Shout out
Koki
to
and
Omos. That's real.
yeah, it's a
My GHC heavyweight champion, Omos.
yeah. Omos. Now that would be a booking. That would listen. Noah Bookers, if you are watching. If you want you may not win promotion of the year for 2024 when we get to that segment of the podcast. But if you want to make an early head start on 2025, you know what to do. Anyway, more championship matches on the card. We have two more here. One is for the Marigold Superfly Championship, and that is Natsumi Shozuki defending the title against Victoria Yuzuki. Now, a few weeks ago, I thought that the Superfly Championship for this show was going to be Misa Matsui coming back and getting her gold. They called that play a little earlier than anticipated, and now we find Victoria Yuzuki in the spot. Unfortunately, we didn't get Victoria Yuzuki in that big preview tag on Boxing Day. I was a little sad about that because I would have liked to have seen those two mix it up beforehand. But I have full confidence that this is going to be another really great match on this show. Shozuki has been probably maybe the most consistent wrestler for Marigold. No matter whether it's one of these big shows or just the smallest of tour cards, Shozuki brings it, and I think this will be absolutely no different. And Victoria Yuzuki for her feels like this could be the moment where she finally gets her first taste of championship gold. Another spoiler potentially for the WrestlePurists Awards. Victoria Yuzuki is big in the running for the Rookie of the Year, as she should be. Debuted in 2023, I believe, but late enough to qualify for the 2024.
I already got my 2025 Rookie of the Year vote too. We haven't even seen the debut yet.
That's coming up very soon. We're placing our votes early for that one. We're locking in. But I think I remember back when she debuted in, I believe, November 2023. Messaging you, Scott, straight away, and we both knew that Stardom were onto gold here with Yuzuki. Oh, yeah. And then they weren't. She was off to Marigold, and now she was Victoria Yuzuki. And as much as it was a blow for Stardom, I think it was very exciting for fans of Yuzuki because it allowed an easier path to the top. There was less of a crowded main event scene. She was easily going to stand out more as someone that they could push a little bit quicker. I think this Superfly title is the perfect chance to give her a reign as a singles champion and see what she can cook up with it. Shozuki has been a great first champion. Having a veteran in that role, I think, has been the perfect call. Some of her matches, with Misa Matsui in particular, I love their first one at Summer Destiny. That was a real standout on that show. But I think it's Yuzuki's time. I think the Rookie of the Year for 2024 is picking up gold here. Scott, I think you're in agreement with me here. How are you feeling heading into this one?
Yeah. This is Hatman booking 101. Let's get the prized rookie, the first big title win. I'm a Victoria Yuzuki defender. I'll go in the streets to fight for why she is the top rookie in wrestling until
there are some deniers. There are some deniers.
There are. But listen. She has been on it the past couple months. Like she has found the consistency now in her game, and it's just. It was like a nice steady rise for her the past year, and then she hit that 1 year anniversary, and you're like, oh shit, that's right. And up until January 3rd, she is the biggest and best rookie in wrestling. Sorry, but you gotta have to get replaced. It's just the way it goes. It just ways to go. It's just what happens when we have a Chihiro Hashimoto, Julia Io Sky inspired rookie coming into our lot. It's just what happens. But in all seriousness, I think Yuzuki truly is the best rookie in quite some time that Joshi has seen. And I think she's going to go out there and hit an absolute home run with Natsumi Shizuki. I think Shizuki's going to do everything in her power to make Yuzuki look great. I loved their draw that they had at Korakuen a few months ago. I know some people are 50-50 on that. I know some people don't like it. I know some people do. I am one of the ones that really enjoyed it. I thought it was when Yuzuki was really piecing things together. Now she has a chance on the big stage to win her first title, and I think she's going to do just that. And the beauty of the Superfly title is, she can eventually lose it, right, to a Misa Matsui or something, and that'll be fine because then, again, it's the next step up from there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big year for Yuzuki in 2025, and I think this is just the start of that. I'm very excited for her to get her first title win just over a year after she debuted. And a year to the day, by the way, that she won the Stardom Rookie of the Year tournament.
Ooh. What a difference! What a difference a year, mate. One year you're the Stardom Rookie of the Year, the next year Marigold's new Superfly champion. What a year it's been for Yuzuki, and hopefully 2025, like we both anticipate, is going to be an even bigger and better one. We have the final championship match on the card coming up, and this one, this one popped me a lot. I got to be real honest with you. We got the Dark Wolf Army, the new Marigold Twin Star champions, Nagisa Nozaki and Chiaki, and Bozilla is no longer aligned with the Dark Wolf Army, and she wants the Twin Star title. So who did she bring in to team with her? Was it going to be? Was it going to be maybe a new? Was it going to be one of the regular Marigold wrestlers? She's going to give them the call up. Was it going to be maybe a freelance Joshi wrestler was going to get the spot on the big card? No, because Bozilla is a real ball knower, and she knows that when you've got one monster, you need another monster to team up. So Tank is in the spot. Tank. Now, I know almost nothing about Tank, but what I know is that Tank appears to be a real beast. He's from the Netherlands, and I'm interested. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Much as I knew nothing about Bozilla coming in, I know nothing about Tank, and that excites me a lot. Scott, how you feel about Tank?
I'm excited. I don't know. It's just like the mystery of Bozilla was so exciting last year, right? Why not just be excited for the mystery of Tank? Yeah. Netherlands born, 5'11". So we got another tall competitor here. The only unfortunate part about this match is I think the title reign of Nozaki and Chiaki is not going very long.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I love the Dark Wolf Army. Shouts out to the only real heels left in I don't know. I mean, hate exists and House of Torture exists, so that really defeated the point. Dominic Mysterio exists. So maybe
shout out to one of
the many real heels left in the game. We're not talking about that John Moxley fella. Can't be having that. I think the Dark Wolf Army would love the team with Dominic Mysterio. All right, never mind. I'm get off that bit. But Bozilla and Tank.
Let's get that partnership back on the road, Scott.
Oh God. I don't remember what I was gonna say. So yeah, Bozilla and Tank win because I think giving Bozilla a title, if we had to assume, like, she probably had a few more months to go before she might leave or something, because that's how these visa things work. So giving her a title and being dominant in the tag division could work well. And I think she's earned it. I think she's had a great year. I think Bozilla went from a who to she's gonna be big somewhere, in the next couple of years. And maybe Tank will do the same. Oh, Tank's wrestled like 1 year. I looked it up. Like, it's not a long career. So this is a new wrestler ready to learn. And when Bozilla leaves, we might still have a Tank. So we're fine. We're fine.
Is it? I think Tank is going to be an incredibly funny prospect, and it's either going to be incredibly funny, and then we'll just hold our hands and say, we can't all get them right, or it'll be incredibly funny in the Bozilla sense, where it was like, oh my God, she's incredible. Hopefully the latter. I actually anticipate it might be the latter, because I think any prospect that comes over with such little experience and kind of throws himself into a spot like this. Obviously, we don't know how long Tank is sticking around, but if it's anything similar to what Bozilla's put together with their Marigold run, then could be something real special here. If this is a duo that we get for a little while, and they're as beast as anticipated, then I'm locked in for Bozilla and Tank.
Yeah, I'd just like to take a minute. Megan Bain, if you're out there, can you wrestle somewhere that's not GCW? Thanks.
I've been saying this. Listen, DDT. Please book Joey Janela. Listen. It'll be a big draw, you know. He could do something funny. He'll make some tweets, maybe. And there's no ulterior motive to that demand. I promise.
Get him like a 6-month visa, DDT, just so we can get Megan Bain a 6-month visa as well. And it's crazy. She just disappeared.
It's very unfortunate. It's she left Stardom, and it seemed like she'd risen her stock, was about to land back in AEW, but apparently not. But we'll see what 2025 holds for both Tank and Megan Bain.
We got Camille instead.
You what?
AEW got Camille instead. It's fine.
Well,
worked out really well.
Yeah. What you win some, you lose some. Yeah. Megan Bain. You made me. I hadn't thought about Megan Bain in so long, and now.
Is it time to talk about passion?
It may be time to talk about passion. It may be time. Put it off long enough, and I can't wait any longer because we have a very exciting tag team match coming up. We have Nanae Takahashi and now Ishikawa bringing the passion to Meiko Satomura and Yuna. Now, I was hoping that Meiko Satomura will pop up somewhere on this card. Obviously, she's calling it a career in 2025. We haven't got long left of Meiko Satomura. And I was hoping that she'd stop by a Marigold for a little bit. She's a former World of Stardom champion under Rossy Ogawa. I was hoping maybe she'd pop in. And then Nanae Takahashi announced that she is also retiring in 2025. In what is
can't take it all.
Devastating blow to the game, because we're losing recipes here, Scott. Suri is now the last of a dying breed, perhaps, because
what's wrestling without passion, man?
That Zenjo, that spirit, the passion, it runs through wrestlers like Nanae, it runs through Meiko Satomura. Suri is the modern bastion of this type of wrestler, and we really need her to pass it on to some of these rookies, because these two going out is a crushing blow in 2025. But before that, we get to see them in a Marigold ring, and this will be very, very exciting, because of course look at who's in the match. It's like I said, it's Nanae, it's Meiko going at it, and the two alongside them. I also think it's going to be really interesting to see them in this spot. Now Ishikawa, we've said it a few times on this show, her positioner alongside Nanae has been one of my favorite things in Marigold throughout their first year of being a promotion, and she's experienced the passion of Nanae and now getting in there with Meiko. I think it's going to be a really interesting test for her. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. And seeing Yuna get in the big spot too. I'm a fan of Yuna, so exciting to see her get the big spot too. But this is all about Nanae and Meiko running it back. I don't know. I'm unsure of who's going to take the win here, to be quite honest. I think either of the two alongside them could obviously be taking the pin. I'm leaning towards Meiko getting the big win and pinning now. I think it's another setback on now Ishikawa's long and winding road to rise in the ranks in Marigold. But nevertheless, however this way goes, this should be real fun.
I'm gonna run through a wall when Nanae and Meiko share the ring. It's gonna be a special moment. Too many people retiring. 3 Joshi blueprints gone within a couple months. Obviously, Arisa Nakajima retiring a few months ago. Now Meiko in April and Nanae in May. The game is not what the game was once. We are like you said, we are losing recipes. We are losing greatness, and at least we get to see them share the ring one more time. It's going to be some old school wrestling in there, and then you're going to feel really, really bad for now Ishikawa and Yuna when they very likely get their asses kicked by both of them.
That's what it's all about. That's why
Yeah,
we love
it sure
it.
is. That's passion. That's Senjo. That's everything. And I don't really care who wins, but Mako can win as far as I'm concerned. That's cool with me.
Yeah,
Um one either now or Yuna's getting pinned. That's about all I can tell you. It
it's
doesn't
safe bet.
Yeah, but pretty cool to see this happen, and I was really happy to see it come to fruition so quickly because
Mhm.
obviously Nanaya's retirement was announced a few weeks ago. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be an emotional time. Might shed a tear or two.
very, very. Hopefully, I've enjoyed what they've been doing with Mako's retirement run so far, making it feel big. Hopefully, Nanai can get a few real big matches in her final few months as well, and this is certainly one that I think everyone's looking forward to. Scott, we've put it off long enough, and we've talked about it briefly. Briefly, we've mentioned it, but it's time to get in great detail because something very special is going to happen at Marigold First Dream, a moment in history that people will talk about for years to come. Because in a singles match, we have Mirai taking on the debuting Seri Yamaoka, debuting on pay-per-view, no less. We've known about this for quite some time. They announced this a long time in advance. We didn't know who the opponent was until not too long ago. But as the card was panning out, we kind of had a bit of an idea, and it's now official. Mirai versus Seri Yamaoka. Shoot wrestler Seri Yamaoka, very got all the credentials, ranked highly across Japan. Throws a mean German, beat the shit out of Julia in that gauntlet, very briefly, which was very intentional. I think they were keeping her strong, even on Julia. She was on the way out, which is an incredible bit of business. And they've hyped this up a lot. She's on the poster. She's on the posters, and some of the top wrestlers on this card are not on the poster. She's there alongside the Utamis and the Cerise of the world. And Rossi's calling her a super rookie. And the last time we had the super rookie, well, she's main event in this card for the red belt. So we know we have an idea of what we're in for here. And I think Mirai will be a great first opponent for her too, because I think she's going to give a lot to Siri. And I think it's going to be very interesting. Clash of Styles, I think, I'm anticipating big Germans like we've already seen from Siri. And Mirai's going to sell her ass off. Scott, I know you're more than fired up about this one. We've both been very locked in for this one, but I know you're especially excited for the prospect of Siri Yamaoka. Take it away.
We don't get super rookies all the time. It's a phrase you want to be easy with because it puts a lot of pressure on a wrestler. And like you said, first person since Utami Hayashishita to get that moniker in the world of Joshi. And that moniker has dated back months. This isn't a moniker that just started when Siri stepped in the ring and said, "I am the super rookie," which, by the way, the fact that she said it, crazy. But it dates back. Fuka started talking about this golden rookie, and it's just the rumors were popping up, and like, who is this? And then Marigold announced Sari Yamaoka is going to debut at First Stream. We're like, hold on, huh? What? Who is this? What? Why? Okay, sure. And as time has gone on, excitement has built for this rookie. They release a public practice with the rookie, showcasing her grappling ability, showcasing her suplexes, and all these different things. And then, of course, Mirai is the opponent. And Mirai, I think, is the perfect opponent. I don't think there's been anyone as to the top level of wrestling more consistently outside of Sari than Mirai and Marigold. I just think she has been everything I think many fans wanted for her to be in Stardom. I think she has stepped up so much. She is someone who can do the grappling on the ground very well and then exchange power. And that's what we're going to do here. Sari Yamaoka's debut is the most excited I've been for a debut ever as a fan.
I was going to say the same. I can't think of a.
I wasn't there for Tommy's debut.
Mhm.
Okay. We didn't, and just like this is just going off of Joshi. Thinking of all the rookies the past couple of years that have really developed. We didn't even know Victoria Yuzuki was going to be what she is. Like they didn't super hype her. And we're just getting a bunch of rookies now as well. There's no comp for me in terms of like expectations because this just feels different. But the one thing I do know, the one thing I could confidently say is Saraya Yamaoka is going into this match not to just compete. She's going into this match to win. She is not here to just have a nice loss in her debut match. Nah. This is different. Like I said, this is different. When you mold your game after Chihiro Hashimoto, when you mold your game after Io Sky and Julia, you have a winner's mentality. And if you look back at what Utami did in her first match, she went to a 50-minute time limit draw with Jungle Kiona. I expect Saraya Yamaoka to go to a draw with Mirai. The same Mirai that is a former Wonder of Stardom champion, a 2-time Cinderella winner, the former Twin Star champion. That's who I expect Saraya Yamaoka to go to a draw with in her very first match. And I'll just say this here. I don't think we're doing predictions or anything. Put her in the Dream Star final. Give her a world title match. Listen. You've committed to the bid already, right? This is the super rookie. Then just go with it. Just go with it. I don't care what the match even looks like. Just go with it. I'm all in. I will honestly, I don't think I'm going to have to, but I will lie through my teeth if it's bad. I do not care. This is one we're all in on, and I don't think she's going to be bad. I think this is someone that is truly special, and I'm very excited to see what she does. But yeah, this is like if Sari versus Utami wasn't happening, this would be my most anticipated match on the show.
I've invested so much into Saraya Yamaoka stocks that if this match is bad, I'm back on the anti-Mirai train. This is because it can't be Shiri's fault.
I'm going to be homeless with all the amount of stock that I bought. Yeah. Okay, listen, I put my life savings. I put a second and third mortgage on the house down. Like this is it, guys. This is it for me. I have all my stock here in one person.
I'm very confident that it's going to deliver, and I'm in agreement that I think we're getting a draw here. I think I certainly don't. If she wins, then oh my god, we're cooking. But I think a draw is a pretty safe bet. I think that's what we're going to get, and I like the prediction of the Dream Star final. I think like you said, you look at what Utami did in year one, and I certainly think we're on a pretty good blueprint to follow in terms of building up a super rookie, and there's potentially less competition for her in Marigold in terms of what Utami had to come up with it in Stardom. So the path may be even easier to the top. I certainly think 2025 is going to be the year of Saraya Yamaoka. We have one last match on this card.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I'm looking forward to this. This should be a bit of fun. I don't actually know what the stakes are for this. I'm not sure if there are any. But we have a New Year's Dream Rumble. I like a Rumble. And there are some fun participants in this one. On the Marigold side of things, we've got Misa Matsui, Kazuna Tanaka, Hummingbird, Rei Seto, Komomo Minami Yuki, Naho Yamada, and the two recent debuts, debutants, we have Ryoko Sakamura and Nagisa Tachibana. Before we get into the rest, Scott, any brief thoughts on those two's debuts from the Boxing Day show?
Tachibana seems to be a natural athlete. I think there's royal momentum in what she could be, but Ryoko Sakamura, she might be the one. She was hitting kicks, knees to the face, chops, slapping the Nai around. Yeah, that was real. That's when you know you're a Joshi wrestler. I think she could be someone, which is very exciting. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they do over these next couple weeks, especially. now that they've had their debuts and they're
Mhm.
in these big spots. So should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they got that rookie of the year tournament coming up. I also think it's particularly interesting which one of the two that they threw in there with Nanai Takahashi of all people. So I think that was a little bit of a sign potentially of where the big potential is out of those two. But I was impressed by both. Um, Outside of Marigold, we have a few outside participants in this one. Hamako Hoshi will be in this match. Yuki Mashiro, Riara, Momoko Hanazono, Nightshade, and Flying Penguin, who's been in a few of these Marigold shows by now. A few big interesting names in there. The one I am most looking forward to, I think, is Yuki Mashiro, who I think it was announced that she would be one of the names who was going freelance. I believe it was bit of a weird, weird time for Ice Ribbon. I think the ice is melting a little bit over there. It has been for a while,
The
but
ice is melting.
but I think she was their top champion over there, and then they announced that she was going freelance. So if she is sticking around in Marigold, which I hope is the case after this, then she might be my pick to win this match because I think
I think
having her in the mix would be really interesting.
I think she would be a great ad for them. She
Mhm.
brings a lot of ability in both like a comedic sense, but also a
Yeah,
wrestling sense. I keep comparing her to like the role that Kaori Oniyama has played in Stardom for years. Right, she can pivot between situations like that and be
yeah,
a real great hand. So that's kind of where I'm at for her being part of this roster, and this feels like kind of the start of that, which is great. And it would be a great addition for sure.
yeah.
Like you said, she is currently their top champion Ice Ribbon, but I'm guessing that probably changes at their big show on Tuesday. So
hmm Yeah, but yeah, this should be a fun one. I assume this opens up the show. Like I say, I don't know if there's stakes, but if Yuki Mashiro is sticking around, I would love to see her pick up a win here, and then maybe
yeah, there will be
beat.
some surprises, they said. So
Oh yeah.
this isn't the full lineup. So I'm hoping for some marvelous, perhaps maybe
hmm
Takumi Roha, Mio Momono, someone of
hmm
that sorts. I will do anything for Mio Momono to show up in another promotion.
Yeah.
Please, please.
It's,
I'm trying.
it will be very interesting to see who pops up. Obviously, when Marigold kind of first got going, Rossi made the point that they were going to try and kind of keep to themselves a little bit, and we weren't too sure which other promotions they'd play nice with. So I think we might get a bit of a glimpse in terms of who um, who their friends.
Nagayo's like the only person I could see him be like, yeah, we could do that
Yeah.
because he loves Nagayo, obviously. So I could see Nagayo in it. Wouldn't shock me at all.
Oh, that would I would not say that. That would pop me a lot. Yeah, but this one should be fun. And that concludes Marigold First Dream. I'm a big fan of this card. I was a fan of the Stardom card, but I think where the Marigold card excites me a little bit more is I think every match on the card has something interesting to offer. Whereas I think Stardom's top end of the card I think is real great, but I think towards the lower end it looks a little bit thrown together and a little bit, you know, there's not a lot of stakes in some of those multi-woman tags, but
No,
nevertheless I think it should be.
I've always thought, and I just want to say this, I always think Stardom's severely hurt by having 75 involvements in a week span. Like they're involved in Queendom and their own New
Mhm.
Year Dream Show and Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. Like if you put the IWGP Women's Title match on Queendom, we're having a different conversation today,
Oh yeah,
right?
big time.
And they get probably 10 more minutes of time as well, which would have been
Mhm.
lovely. But it's not. I'm happy for Mayu and Azumi. So you gotta look
Yeah.
at it that way too. They get to be in the dome, which is awesome. But could have would have loved to see them have a full length match. But
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
Gato's the
Is that
worst.
what Inoki would have wanted though, Scott?
I don't care what Inoki would have wanted. Well,
Yeah.
I do. So I promise. I like Inoki.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
Inoki would have been a fan of it. You saw the IGF. That got crazy. Yeah, no, he would have been a
Yeah.
big fan.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think they
Look.
booked for Inoki. They haven't booked for what Inoki has wanted in years.
Oh no. 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 So at times, I think that might be for the best, but also,
Inoki
you
would
know,
want Sari main eventing, actually. So,
well, maybe we should let
that
him
would,
cook then. Actually, he might be
yeah,
onto something.
exactly.
He
Exactly.
might be
That would
onto
have been real.
something. Inoki. Yeah. Shout out to Antonio Inoki. Big fans. Anyway,
The legend.
yeah. I was gonna say if he's not watching. I don't think he's.
He's not
Anyway,
alive, man. That's crazy. Rest in peace.
before we dig this hole any deeper, that wraps up the preview portion of this podcast. I mean, we've went a little bit longer than I anticipated. We're going to fly through a couple of awards. I don't think some of these are going to be too much of a big debate. I think we're both in agreement on a lot of them. But I have WrestlePurists' 2024 awards slate lined up right here. So we're going to go through real quick. First up is the Wrestler of the Year. Now, I think we're both in agreement on who our Wrestler of the Year is. However, when WrestlePurists did the Wrestler of the Year awards, and it wasn't me that put these together, but we just had Wrestler of the Year and Women's Wrestler of the Year. Some people voted as if it was open to all genders, and some people took it as just the Men's Wrestler of the Year. We're both very much in agreement, I think, that Suri is the Wrestler of the Year. But if I have to push you for a Men's Wrestler of the Year, and particularly maybe on the Japan side of things, obviously, of course, it's the Bryans and the Swerves of the world. But looking to Japan, is there a candidate that gets close to you?
No.
I don't
From
think it's
but
been a bad year, to be fair.
I guess it would probably be Zach, right?
Yeah, he popped up in a lot of the nominations that I looked at. He seemed to be the big men's star in Japan.
I can't think of anyone else really.
If you'd asked me,
would Takeshita count because he did the G1?
yeah, you could throw him in the mix. I think
He had a hell of a year.
Yeah, I think if you asked me, maybe my half year awards, I think like a Kaito Kiyomiya would have got closer. Because I think he had a good start to the year, but I think it's tailed off. Obviously, it's not entirely his fault. Noah's booking at the best of times is a bit up and down. But hopefully, maybe 2025 he can pick it back up. But I think he would have been in the mix if it had been a little bit more consistent. But I think Zach is probably the correct shout on the men's side of things. And there aren't too many other real great candidates. Obviously, All Japan, no one from All Japan really stands out this year. New Japan definitely seems to be Zach. Other than that, I don't watch enough Dragon Gate to know who the the big Dragon Gate guy. Maybe if Murph was here, he'd have a few pictures for us.
Oh, actually, I would pick Yamato from Dragon Gate. He's actually fantastic.
Yeah, I saw a good few things from Yamato this year. Like I said, I didn't really catch enough to throw him in the mix, but
he would actually be my men's pick. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
my brain.
It sounds reasonable enough.
Go to New Japan. You ultimately go to New Japan, and you're like, New Japan start going into the new year, I think, on a high note, but so much of this year was a low note that was hard for. I think it was hard for anyone to stand out outside of Zach. So I would go with Yamato or Zach for the men's wrestler of the year, but obviously Sari for the women's.
Yeah, I'm going to say men's for me is Zach. Women's wrestler of the year, we don't need to. You all know. Do we even need to say it? It is. It's the women's wrestler of the year is the best wrestler in the world. So tag team of the year.
Sari shut that down about once her Dream Star was over, because Mayu had created some great, made some great matches, obviously through the 5-star, and I think it made it pretty split at the time. And then it was just like, oh, what if I did this? And then the rest is history.
I think halfway through the year, I think it was quite close, like you said, between her and Mayu. And obviously, she's had a phenomenal reign this year as IWGP Women's Champion. I think any other year, I think Mayu would have been a major contender for Women's Wrestler of the Year. But Suri wrestling as frequently as she has, across the different promotions she works with, particularly, of course, how locked in she's been with Marigold. I think that's just put it too far out of out of contention for anyone else to catch up. So yeah, Suri, Women's Wrestler of the Year. Tag team though is where I don't think it's been a banner year for many tag teams. Of the big two candidates in the WrestlePurists Awards, just by checking the nominations, seem to be Fraxium and the Young Bucks. However, when we're looking to Japan, I'm not. I'm not thrilled. FWC are always a highlight, and I think Wingori deserve a mention. I think they may actually be my pick from the Stardom side of things. Men's side, I'm really not sure. Saito Bros have had a decent year, but a lot of their stuff has come in singles capacity between them both. So my pick here may be Wingori. Hopefully they end it on a big year, and I can definitively say that they had the best year as a tag team. I'll shout out some of the junior IWGP junior tag teams as well, who I think have often a highlight on the shows. The Bullet Club, the War Dogs, Intergalactic Jet Setters, Catch 2-2, teams like that. They usually show up. But Scott, anyone jumping to your mind for tag team of the year?
Yeah. Tag team wrestling this year. Whew. Not the best. Unless I think if you were a Joshi fan, truthfully. If you're a Joshi fan, you got some great teams. Shout out to Wingori, obviously. Shout out to FWC.
I just realized who I forgot. I know where you're going with this. No.
Yeah. FWC, I just want to give them a shout out because they seem to be on a walk away win with this before, Stardom decided the tag belts didn't matter anymore and took them away from them, which I'm still upset about. The tag division, I thought, for the first half of the year was the best thing in Stardom, and it was because of these two teams. Team 200 kilograms, come on down. Shouts out to the Sendai Girls duo, Chiro Hashimoto and Yu, continuously being among the best in the world. I also like to shout out Crazy Star. Yes, Suzu Suzuki did have a good part of the year, I thought. This is a fun one. Bobo Banana, Mio Momono, and Yurika Oka. Yeah, that's their team name. That's right. They had an excellent year as well. And then, on the Marigold side of things, I'd love to shout out Mirai and Mai Sakurai for what they did in the second half of the year as a duo as well. But there was no team that had a better hit rate than one team. And that happened. They only had one match together. But for me, it was a 5-star classic.
Oh.
And that was, of course, Sari and Mayu Iwatani. And the Sari is the main event. If you want to talk about real teams, no. It was an interesting year for tag team wrestling. But I think my vote right now probably goes to Wingori. And I'm, like you said, kind of counting on them closing out the year strong. So they have an even better case when it's all said and done.
Yeah, the two Sendai shouts that you threw out there were the ones that I remembered after the fact, because they actually did. They got a couple of nominations. I won't say which of the two, but one of them may have slipped onto that ballot. So we'll see.
That's real. I hope it's Team 200 kilograms. That's the thing they do.
I will be doing no reveals of the ballots, successful ballots, but very, 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 very soon, I think you will find out, and there'll be a podcast all on that, so stay tuned. Match of the year. Now, I think you may have just given away half of your match of the year, to be honest, with your tag team of the year award. But I'll ask you anyway. I assume Mayu Iwatani and Suri, whether it be their singles match or that tag team encounter with Veni and Chihiro Hashimoto, I believe I can predict your match of the year as one of the two.
Yeah, that is my match of the year. Sariism Chapter 5, Sari and Mayu Iwatani versus Chihiro Hashimoto and Veni. Nothing has topped it. It was a classic, instant classic Joshi match. Watching it. And then Mayu Iwatani versus Sari is my second match from Japan side of things. That would get a vote. Just fantastic stuff as well. But yeah, Masari and Mayu versus Hash and Veni, it was special, man. It's why we watch.
Yeah, it was absolutely sensational. both of those matches got a good couple of votes at the WrestlePurists Awards. I'm not sure if any of them made the full, but there was a lot of big AEW and WWE votes on that
Yeah.
side of things. It's how this game works, but I'm fully in agreement on those two. I'll throw out a couple others. Probably not the same caliber of match in terms of the in ring work, right at the very very top level, but a match that I loved because there was a lot of history behind it. Was EO versus Utami.
That's a
I
great
came
one.
out to that show calling that my match of the year. Emotions were running high. I was ready to run through a wall. Mayu also has the Shuri match, which was incredible
Yes.
so early in the year. But a lot of people did remember it and nominated it, which made me very happy because I love that match. And there's been a couple others. There was a few across New Japan throughout the year, but I don't think any quite reached the heights of what Suri and Mayu Iwatani have been able to do together. So I think either of those two matches, whether it be the singles or their tag, I think are more than fair picks. I may be slightly even leaning towards the singles just because I love that match a lot, but I think either are more than fair.
Yeah.
Any other outside shouts that you'd like to throw out, or are we sticking with the big two?
You checked off my other ones, Mayu and Shuri, Tommy and Neo. I love Crazy Star versus FWC from
Oh, yeah.
Fukuoka. That was my tag match of the year for a lot of the year. At least on
Yeah.
the Japan side. Mayu versus Momo from Historic Crossover was tremendous. Yeah, I have a lot of consistency here. If you want a Puro match, I'll give you a Puro match. I loved Yamato versus Ben K from Kobe World this year. One of my favorites of the year. So don't worry, I made sure to get that shout in there. But yeah, those are probably my main ones.
Yeah. A lot of big votes also for Zach and Brian.
Oh yes, I always forget that happened this year.
Yeah,
That seems so long ago.
that was a great match, but I don't think it quite.
I like their first hot take. I like the first one better.
I might be in agreement with you. I think that one stuck with me a little bit more. I think I've a slightly more memorable match, but certainly deserves a mention in the mix. We'll fly through a few more of these. Show of the year. Again, I think a lot of the ones that made the ballots. Spoilers. It was quite US heavy. There was a lot of AEW and WWE in the mix here. The one that came to my mind first, the card that I think about was the one I enjoyed a lot, was that Marigold Summer Destiny show. There was a lot on that card. We had the big Julia and Suri match. We had Utami and Io. We of course had the first white belt crowned with Miko Aono getting that spot. The Superfly match with Shozuki and Misa, we already mentioned. There was a lot on that card that was really fun. In terms of other things, I'm not too sure. Just got anything jump into your mind in terms of big shows from Japan that really stick out for your show of the year?
Yeah, you're getting me at a good time because I had to think about this last night for something. I was like, what shows did I enjoy? Full disclosure, my top two picks, I think, were Revolution and WrestleMania Sunday. But I did have two Joshi picks on there. Summer Destiny, as you mentioned, I thought that was a fantastic show and just kind of a night full of enjoyment as a fan. And then I also had the 5-star Grand Prix Night 11 show, which was the Shinjuku Face show. Where they were packed. It was they had the quarterfinals match. I think it was Mayu and Natsupoi, Saya Kamitani and Starlight Kid, Mike and Azumi. Maybe it just was such a lively venue, so exciting, so amazing. So those were my two picks. And then there was I thought Wrestle Kingdom was actually really good this year, which might be a hot take, but I thought that was a great show. I think it's kind of forgotten because it's so long ago. But
it's been interesting looking back on the last couple of Wrestle Kingdoms because usually the stuff that's followed them hasn't been ideal, and I think that kind of hurts. How we look back on those shows. You look at the year that New Japan have had, but certainly I think it deserves a mention in the mix there. Hopefully this upcoming Wrestle Kingdom can top the last couple, and then they go on to have an even better year, and we can look back on it a little bit more fondly. If I had to push you for an answer on the Japan side of things, where is your match of the year side? Sorry, not match, show of the year at this time.
I will go with Summer Destiny.
Summer Destiny. I think we're in agreement
Easy,
on that
easiest
one.
show to name as well because it has
Yeah.
a name. Like the other one was like very exact, but Summer Destiny had Io Shirai,
Mhm.
not Sky. That was Io Shirai
Yeah,
in full
yeah.
form. It
Io
was a
Shirai
moment, man.
returned. It was certainly a moment, sight to behold. I loved it. So yes, promotion of the year. This is a tough one because I don't think any promotion in particular has had a super strong year. I think there is one that stands out. I think you mentioned it earlier, and it is one that did get quite a few nominations. I think that would be Sendai Girls. You look at Japan, and I think they might be your leading candidates. Um, there are arguments to be made that New Japan's had strong points throughout the year, but they've also had a lot of low points. Um, so it's tough to kind of say they've been consistent enough. But I think across promotion of the year, when I look at the big US promotions also, who of course made the ballot, you look at WWE and AEW, but they've got their highs and lows plenty throughout the year. And I don't think either of those two deserve to kind of run away with this. People mentioned CMLL also as a bit of an outsider shout that they got a lot of love for this. But I think you look at Japan and I don't see a more consistent pick than Sendai Girls. Um, I think obviously Marigold got off to a hot start, but there's such a big gap between the first pay per view and the second pay per view that it feels like there's been a lot of space in between and
Mhm.
not a lot of real highlights to give them something like this. Stardom
Yeah.
certainly has not been their finest year. Noah, I wouldn't say they've had a banner year. I think all Japan have had a drastic fall off from their great
All
2023.
Japan's very funny because ticket wise they're hot, but in terms of what they got cooking, I am not interested.
Yeah. Listen, I'll sum up All Japan's 2024. They put the belt on Davy Boy Smith, and I kind of pumped my fist because it was something that was a bit out of the ordinary in terms of what else they had going on. Because it was just like I don't know, I went rocking with what they had going on. But no, certainly not a great year for All Japan. But Scott, would you agree that Sendai Girls is the leading choice in this field?
Yeah. Yeah, Sendai Girls is my pick. I just think in terms of show to show consistency and overall enjoyment, you can't really pick a better promotion this year. Like if
Hmm.
you they're not going to give you the super in-depth story that a lot of other promotions will, but they're going to give you great wrestling. They're going to give you memorable matches. They're going to give you memorable moments, and they have such a great core of wrestlers that are on each and every show. The other one I'd pick to shout out once more is Dragon Gate. Indeed,
Hmm.
I went from last year kind of losing interest to them to getting fully pulled back in this year because of what they've been doing. Um, they've done the reverse of every other Japanese company. Instead of going young, they went old. They went back to Yamato as their top champ, and it's created steam for them, I think, at least. So that would be my Puro pick, but my
Hmm.
overall pick is for sure Sendai Girls. And then of course shout out to I guess the big companies in America that are probably going to be the main competitors there. But I'm happy Sendai Girls is getting love because I do think they deserve it.
Yeah, for sure. I actually think Sendai Girls, similarly to CMLL, who did quite well in terms of
Yes.
gathering nominations. I think they're a promotion where maybe you're not locked into every single one of the shows. Maybe you just watch the big highlights. I can see how you would
Sure.
come away from this year thinking, well, yeah, I had a good time every time I watched Sendai. So yeah, and they got the deserved love at the ballots for that. And I think I'm in agreement. I don't really think there's any other major contenders on the Japan side of things there. Fly through the rest of these. What else do we have? Booker of the year. This kind of goes hand in hand with promotion of the year. Um, so if you want to throw this to like Mako, maybe for Sendai.
Um, Booker of the Year is like no one.
Yeah, I thought
Like,
this when I was counting the nominations, and I was thinking, "Ugh." you know,
like if we're being honest, it's no one. Um, like
yeah,
there's just no one that
yeah.
really like there's
I'll give you guys another insight. D-Generation X did quite well at the
yeah, like
stage.
I assume Triple H is gonna steamroll that one. You know, like
I don't think Tony Khan's had his he's had a couple of in the years.
I don't think Tony Khan has a shot. Just
No.
based on the ups and downs this year. I mean, as I like to say, when I see AEW fans turning on AEW, it's like, okay, well, we've hit a snag, and I think it's better now. Obviously, heading into World's End, but it's been a messy year for them. Not to say WWE hasn't been messy, but in terms of product, it's still hot. So, in terms of Japan, man, I don't really like the guy, but Gato probably should get some love for kind of, fighting with the. He started off the year. Everyone's like, "This guy's an idiot. He pushed none of the young people. What a moron!" But he righted the ship, right? And now we're kind of watching a steady grow into this new era that they have going on. He crowned Zach ahead of time too. So Gato probably will get some love, I'm sure. Taro Kata ain't getting my vote, I'll tell you that.
Certainly not.
Tim Nakano might get my vote.
Gato's he's got them in a position where they can go into 2025 and kind of start on a clean slate with the guys.
Booker of the Year's easy.
I know who you're going to say because I was about to get to it, so I'll beat you to it. The Booker of the Year is Suri.
Yeah.
Because of course,
who else is booking like that?
Yeah, I mean, how much from one wrestler? She's already the wrestler of the year, but she's gunning for Booker of the Year too, and she might be the front runner on the Japan side of things. I think she's certainly running away for it in my eyes. Suriism could also be like a promotion of the year if you want to slant it that way. Suri's fighting on a lot of fronts in these awards, and I think she may be winning pretty much all of them. So I think Suri might be my Booker of the Year from Japan. She might be my overall Booker of the Year, especially when I look at the options that are presented to me across America.
No one booked as consistently as her, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's every single show. You're getting. You know exactly what you're getting from a Suriism, and it's usually one of the most fun shows.
To quote a famous Irishman, banger after banger. After banger. That's just what the Suriism shows are, man.
She knows how to put them together. She's got a few regulars to pop in. She always brings in some fun outsiders. What more could you ask for? It's always a good time. So I think Suri is going to be our Booker of the year. Although shout out to Gedo, who could potentially have a strong start to 2025 if he caps off what's been a year of building with some of the young guys. Best non-wrestler is a tough one to do for Japan. A lot of the candidates here are typically on the US side of things. So I'm trying to think if anyone comes to mind at all. I don't think this is one we need to spend too long on. Maybe a commentator that's done well. I don't know. I like Walker Stewart. He seems like good people. He seems like he's he's had a pretty strong year. I don't think any Japan guys made it into the ballot. There was a lot of managers, and I can't think of any managers that are doing it for me across Japan, if any at all. To be quite honest, anyone spring to mind?
I'm literally on my phone trying to look up non-wrestlers in Japan.
I really don't think there's any contenders.
Who like? No, I got nothing. Gato.
Yeah,
because he's telling us we need a rebel. Which we do. We do need a rebel. He is correct.
David Finley's he's on
David Finley. What a year! Shout out to the big man. He turned things around. I have no other options. Is there even like Karo Ito? Because she's always there for Suri.
Yeah.
She's always in her corner. She's always driving her everywhere. Shouts out to Karo Ito, legend once upon a time. Now just there to help Suri, which is real, by the way.
Yeah, I think we're gonna throw it to Gedo. He might be the only one in the running.
What about me? I'm not a wrestler.
You're not. That is true. That's true.
I interview
haven't
some people.
either, to be fair. So
What about you? Why not you?
You know, I've had a good year. We were, you know, but maybe I might have taken myself out of contention with how I started this podcast. I may have, but I had a Nia Jackson War Games level performance.
I'm voting for 6-star. I'm voting for 6-star.
6 stars are good.
6-star is also a non-podcaster.
Non-podcaster of the year. 6-star. Taking the mantle from Murph from Dumb Guy Live. The spirit of Murph. 6-star is the non-podcaster of the year. Congratulations. Best in-ring worker of the year. Suri.
Suri. What? There's not an award that's more her name.
I'm not the biggest fan. I understand that people put a little bit more into Wrestler of the Year in terms of the draw and the all sorts of these things. I like wrestling for the wrestling. So if you're the best wrestler, you're usually my Wrestler of the Year. So Suri. I don't think we need to debate any further. Zach probably gets a mention in the in-ring capacity.
Yeah,
but
Io Shirai for one match.
Yeah, for one match.
We can only pick Japan, so we can only say that version. We can't talk about the WWE version. That's
of course, yeah.
Right. Though the WWE version had a good year.
She did. She's probably she might be my front runner for on the American side of things.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Shout out to Io.
Of course.
Evil? No? All right.
Well, hold on, because Evil might be in contention for this next award. Best on promos. Best on promos. Listen,
Evil is a nice promo.
We don't, unless you you have any news for me. I don't think either of us speak Japanese. But Evil, I like what he's putting together. Sometimes he's speaking, I just I like it. I like what he's putting down.
He booked himself for a Sumi Sakai's retirement match.
Yeah, what a beast. He's doing his thing. Evil actually did get a couple nominations, which popped me for this. It was pretty much all US based wrestlers, but Evil got a few, which made me laugh. The only other person I'll really throw it out to is one of New Japan's young lions, and that's Daiki Nagai, who's got a lot of fire for a young lion. He's he's really fired up. He really gives us all on these promos. I think when he kind of moves up the ranks, he's going to be a real problem. So Daiki Nagai pops me a lot. But my best on promos in Japan is Evil. So I don't know if you have any other bold takes.
I have some. Yeah, no, I got some. That crazy guy in Noah that told Kaito he's a cheater or something. Taishi Ozawa.
Taishi Ozawa.
That guy rules.
That is a good shout.
That guy's nasty. Absolutely nasty.
Yeah. I like this pick. I like Suji.
Big Suge. Big Suge, a good pick.
Talks his shit.
We haven't said her name much, but how about Sari?
Yeah, well,
she just runs down everyone in her promos, man. Listen. She's like, yeah, so I'm the ace, and you suck. But do you got any dog left in you? That's literally her promo to Tom. To me, that speaks to me. Other options. Evil's a great shout, man. Evil's a great shout. I'm not even slightly kidding. David Finlay.
I like this. David Finlay is
Izuki's a hater. There was a
she's
hater.
A real hater. When she turns it on, she's locked in. David Finlay is a good shout for sure.
David Finlay is good. Helps that he speaks English for me, so I can understand it more. But I think Evil legitimately is the best. That dude, he's got away with it,
Yeah. Listen, people panned it when the match was just kind of randomly announced as the first match for Wrestle Kingdom 19. But Evil and Tanahashi have done a pretty solid job in making me look forward to this.
Yeah, Evil becomes president if he wins.
It's gonna be, even though I know it's gonna be full of House of Torture shenanigans, and it's a lumberjack match, and it's gonna be all sorts of crazy stuff. They got me into it.
I wouldn't pick him. But I know people like Gabe a lot. Gabe Kidd.
Yeah, he does.
That crazy SOB.
Another one that helps that he's English, so he's probably.
Wait, we can claim Kenny Omega, right? Because he's not in America these days.
Well,
we can claim
him.
He
did fire me up a lot. To be fair,
we can claim Kenny.
he certainly could be in the running. So yeah, I think the few names we've thrown out there are good picks. I'm sticking with Evil, but I like
Yeah,
the
shout out,
I like the
shout out to
yeah,
you.
Evil. Yeah, who would have thought that Evil has won one of the WrestlePurists awards unofficially? He's won the Gold Star awards. They're the big ones. Couple more of these, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. Most improved. I think we just mentioned him, but I think David Finlay should be in the mix for this. I also think we mentioned that earlier in the show, and we talked about it in great detail, but my Sakurai
For sure.
deserves to be in the mix here. Trying to think if there's
sure.
anyone else who springs to mind. Yuya
Saida?
Uemura? Saida, for sure.
Had a hell of
For
a year.
sure.
Yuya Moore is a good one, though his
Yeah.
year.
He
didn't
shook
get to
off that
see it
TNA
fully
stink.
happen.
Injury was very unfortunate, but he's
Mm.
he's growing back into the wrestler that a lot of people thought he would be.
I think Saeed is a great shout. I think my Sakurai is a great shout. I think David Finley's a fantastic shout. Yeah, those would probably be the best options, I think, for those.
If I had to give you, I'm somewhere between Mai and David Finlay, just because of kind of how much their stock has risen in terms of where people saw them. I'm leaning Mai, but David Finlay is another excellent shout. But yeah, I think that's a really interesting award to do for this year. There's some good contenders. This one is interesting. Most underrated. Most underrated. I always think it's tough to call because some people see this as actually like underrated, and some people give it as underpushed, which are two slightly different
underpushed
things.
is how the Observer does it. It's tough, right? Because sure, he would be a great option either way, almost. But I feel like people know how great she is. But if we're doing it in terms of push, I mean, come on, folks. There was no push.
For sure. Anyone on the underrated side of things, those just the more kind of hidden gems that haven't really broken out yet. The kind of again, it's a tough one to do because for someone to be, if you're doing this in terms of underrated, for someone to get a lot of votes as being underrated, well then they're rated. It's like Chad Gable has become the new Dolph Ziggler in this award, in that he always gets picked for this. But because he gets he's not underrated. You all rate him because
you know how good he is.
He's underpushed, sure, but that's not what this is.
I think Mirai is underrated. From the
sure.
vast majority of fans at this stage of the game. Just to keep it Joshi. Saida used to be the obvious pick, but like you said, she's now kind of the Chad Gable for the Joshi fans, where it's like, oh, Saida. It's like, did you see what she did this year? Like, she had a great year.
I like Yuna Mizumori.
Ooh, that's a good one.
She's one that doesn't get a lot of eyes on her, but I always enjoy when she gets a big spot. She usually delivers.
That's a really good one. You know what we haven't said once, and I'm not going to. Remember TJPW?
TJPW. Well, TJPW got more nominations than I was hoping for some of these awards.
Yurika Oka for underrated and Sendai Girl.
That's
She's
a great
excellent.
shot, actually. Because
I definitely think no one knows about her.
Yeah, for sure. Because as much as the tag team got a lot of mention, I think more people would pick Mio Momono. Like Mio Momono got shouts for Women's Wrestler of the Year. I didn't see much for Yurika Oka, but for sure she deserves a mention. That actually might be where I kind of land on this. I think you've hit the nail on the head with that. That's a good call. I think we can.
I think next podcast we do, we should have the hats that they wear. The banana hat. I think that would be that'd be a great episode.
For sure, we'll do it if the people demand it. We will. We'll do it. The last award again. I don't think we need to spend too long on this. We already pretty much announced it earlier. Rookie of the Year. I think we're in agreement that 2024 belongs to Victoria Yuzuki. The other candidates from Japan that made it close or into the ballot, Oleg Bolton, we decided qualified. He's slightly out of the window, but I think or he's like just in the window, and he didn't get too many votes because I think people forgot. But he's pretty much in the mix. Also, someone who actually didn't get almost any votes at all, and I was quite shocked. and I almost forgot that he's a rookie, but I'm pretty sure he debuted in January. Ulka Sasaki from Noah is a rookie of this year.
I think you're right.
He debuted in January, I'm pretty sure, and in 6 months he
Ulcas.
won the GHC national title. And
Yeah, because he
in a
had
few
the
days, he debuted.
exhibition match on a
Yeah,
random show, and then yeah, you're right.
he got no votes, no nominations. I think people forgot he's a rookie.
He's good too.
He's
Like,
very good. He deserves to be in over some of the people on the ballot.
it's a good pick. Good
Yeah,
pick.
yeah. Stardom have a few rookies that have been pretty solid this year.
I'm a big fan of Aya Sakura.
She is great. I don't think she qualifies as
Oh
a
yeah,
rookie.
because she did
Yeah,
debut technically
she
last year. She
debuted with
got hurt.
Hanako.
Hanako. Damn.
Yeah,
You're right. Sayaka
but yeah,
Kurara was a good one.
Kurara, Ranayagami, I think fall into
They're
contention.
not Yuzuki though.
Yeah, Yuzuki takes it, and I think next year, I think we're pretty confident that it's going to be Seri Yamaoka. We don't even need to do it next year. Give it to it already. But that concludes.
When you guys send out the nominations thing, it's just a picture of her.
Yeah. We usually put 4 up. We're just gonna have the big one picture,
or just do 4 of her.
We're gonna turn the reply. We're gonna turn the replies off actually, so we just don't. Yeah,
it's a great bit.
We got it. That concludes the our awards on the Japan side of things for the 2024 WrestlePurists Awards. Stay tuned for full announcements of the ballot. There will be 5 picks in each category that have been decided by your nominations, and also a little bit of deliberation between myself and the boss man and Lewis. We've been working hard to put together a full list that is deserving to be in the top 5, and then it will go to a public poll, which is where it gets spooky, because it's where WWE fans and AW fans get a hold of it in great numbers. But some of our favourites have made a few of the ballots, so it will be nice. Hopefully, Suri can defeat the Western the Western fans that have not watched any of Japan this year. She's got some competition.
I will not let Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan beat Sari. I'll do everything in my power.
I'm pretty confident neither of those two will be problems, but I think some of their fans might be, because who they vote instead could cause issues. So we'll see how that works. But that'll all be brought to you at a later date on a later podcast. This has been a lot of fun. The only thing that's left to do for this podcast, and I almost forgot, but where is it? I've lost it. Hold on. Here it is. It's our Gold Star.
Yeah!
It's been on a little bit of hiatus. We decided to do them even when we weren't podcasting, and then we forgot. But it's back. What can you do? Anyway, we're back. We're locked in now. Six is not here. I'm unsure if Six has given you their Gold Star Grappler of the week.
Not a chance.
We'll post it. We'll ask Six at a later date, and
we'll pick for Six right now.
Okay. 6 stars. Gold Star Grappler of the week
is, drum roll please, Tekla. No, I'm just kidding. Most of the usual picks that Six would make haven't done much recently. So
yeah, it's been,
I can't even bank on that. You know what? We'll like you said, we'll try to maybe get one from Six. I don't think Six is even watching much wrestling lately, so it's kind of tough.
Yeah, but we'll bring that to you at a later date. Scott, you're up next. Do you have a Gold Star Grappler for this week?
Yeah, I do. I do have one. I think there was some great options this week. This week kicked off obviously the big time in Japan. Slowly but surely, but we're gonna give it to a rookie. We talked a lot about rookies today. Talked a lot about rookies and potential, and I think a lot of great young talent that is coming up in the Joshi scene right now. Obviously, we talked a lot about Chi-Chi, talked a lot about Sari Yamaoka, talked about Victoria Yuzuki, Sayaka Kurara, Aya Sakura, Yurika Oka, very young. She just has been around for a little bit longer. Hell, we even talked about Yuna today. We talked about a lot. But we had a debut this week that really opened my eyes. And that was of one Ryoko Sakamura of Marigold. She stepped in there with Nanai Takahashi and said, I'm going to slap you across the face and see what you do about it. That's what she said, not me. Not me. She said, you want to see passion? Oh, I got passion. I got passion. Now, did she lose? Yes, but she also did a reverse Koji clutch. And you know what? That was sick, okay? That was unreal.
Listen, we talked about recipes earlier in the show. Some have been handed down.
This is an old-fashioned recipe. One that's similar to maybe, I don't know, Yuzuki Aikawa back in the day. Okay. This is a idol turned pro wrestler, and we'll see where she goes from here. But that is my golden grappler of the week. I'm excited to see who our combined one is at the end of the show.
I really don't know, to be quite honest with you. I have an idea. I don't know if you're going to be aligned with it. So I'm unsure whether to give it as my pick.
Is it the grip? Oh, no.
It's not. He might be in the same match as the grip.
Oh, Pooter Pumino.
So, okay. We should do this debate first, because if not, he might be mine. But listen, I ain't been the highest on one show to Umino this year. It ain't been the greatest of years. But he was in this tag match with Big Grip and Zack Sabre Jr.
Big Grip, yeah. Big Tom
and
Big Tom and Big Tom.
It was just, I loved it. Well, probably my favorite match of the week. And the most important thing is he's looking real big. he's looking real big. I put the call in. I sent them some supplies. We don't need to go any further.
By the way, I figured out what 6 stars pick would definitely be. It would definitely be Tam. Tam released that 70 tweet Tam Road thing today for Taya Kamatani.
You know what? You're probably you've hit the nail on the head. That is exactly what 6 would do. So Tam Nakano, locking that in. Scott, you've got Ryoko Sakamura.
So do you have a choice?
I do. Well, I have one. He's not a wrestler.
Who's your?
Because I didn't watch much wrestling this week, outside of the new.
Okay, yeah, we could do Shooter.
So we can do Shooter. Are we happy with Shooter for collective? Because I'm happy to.
I mean, nasty business fella, but you know you have a non-wrestler, so I'll let you do your gimmick.
All right.
Are you gonna pick Shadow the Hedgehog?
I'm. That's
Shadow the Hedgehog. Can we do Shadow the Hedgehog as our collective?
Okay, right. Switching it up then. Right. My Gold Star Grappler of the week was going to be Mo Salah, but we're going to switch it up. My Gold Star Grappler of the week is Shota Umino. The collective Gold Star Grappler of the week is Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Now,
the biggest draw in the world today, baby.
I don't know if we're in the realm of like being able to throw out spoilers on this YouTube broadcast. If you haven't watched the film, go and watch it.
Watch it.
But
as you can see, my poster back here from the movie.
Just an incredible bit of business. Might be the best cinematic universe in film right now.
100%. I'd rather be in the Sonic universe than any other.
We're kicking Marvel's ass. We're going. Sonic 4 is coming out in 2027, and I'm locked in.
I already bought my tickets.
Let's do it all. So yes, Shadow the Hedgehog.
We're taking it all. Get us out of here.
Taking it all. Right? Yeah. As we are, yes. So that concludes today's Gold Star podcast. It's good to be back. Hopefully we'll be back very soon. We haven't confirmed anything yet, but there are plans for a potential midweek episode where we will take a look at the Tokyo Dome shows. We'll also probably talk a little bit about the shows we mentioned today, but nothing is confirmed. What is probably very likely is that we do a post-Wrestle Kingdom show on the Saturday. So stay tuned for further announcements. If we do a midweek one, it may also feature a few guests depending on who can make it for the Dome previews. But that does it for me. Thank you all for watching. Scott, anything to plug before we get us out of here? I know it's a very busy time in wrestling. What are you working on right now?
Yeah, I got a lot going. I got a lot cooking in the old kitchen. This Sunday I'll be doing a live stream for Stardom Dream Queendom over on the Fight Game Media Network YouTube channel. That'll be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe I can make some calls, get the big man that I'm talking to right now on there. I can make some calls. I can also make some calls for next Friday, because next Friday I'm going live for not that show, for Marigold First Dream. I'm definitely making some calls to get Jamie on there. I don't,
Oh yeah.
I might not even let him get off this broadcast without making the call.
Oh,
But we'll be doing a live stream on there, live stream for both shows. Really looking forward to both of them. Best time of the year. January 1st, I have a very special interview coming out. I can't say who, but
it's gonna be real good. It's gonna be real good.
It's a pretty big name. Really excited, and it's been ready and raring to go. I just got to publish it January 1st. Keep an eye out. They'll be over on Fightful.com. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I got cooking. I'll probably have a bunch of other stuff with all the Joshi going on. Oh, actually, I do have one more thing. If you don't mind me plugging my own awards here.
Go for it.
For the third year in a row, we will have the 5-star Joshi awards. Those are all Joshi all the time. I'll be putting that ballot together January 1st. I will tweet it out. Nice Google form. If you're a Joshi fan, a Joshi podcaster, a Joshi analyst, just a wrestling fan, feel free to vote. Wrestler of the Year is locked up, but everything else is open. Now Wrestler of the Year will be on there. It's just there not going to be many options. But I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm excited to see who might win. We'll do Wrestler of the Year, promotion, Match of the Year, breakout star, all these good things. So definitely something to look forward to there as well.
Absolutely, yes. Scott is absolutely the best in the game on this side of the things with the Joshi coverage. That interview in particular, I'm very fired up and locked in for. So keep your eye out.
Jamie knows what it is, to be fair.
Yeah, no spoilers here, but I think you will not be disappointed. If it's anything like some of the interviews that you've had,
it's a super interview.
It's a super interview, absolutely. So stay tuned. And yeah, that does it. That does it for me. In terms of what I've got coming up, I'll probably just be popping up on a few of these shows coming up soon. Again, it's a busy week. I'm pretty confident that I'll be there on Scott's first Dream review. I don't think we need to do too many negotiations.
I'm booking him there. I'm booking him there.
Yeah, I will be there. Probably be here midweek for a Wrestle Kingdom preview and a review on the Saturday. Back with Scott is on the cards. And that's it. Thank you all for watching again. Thank you all again for watching the Gold Star Podcast episode 5. Please forgive me for the absolute shambolic start I had to this podcast. It's been a while.
You recovered well.
Scott's got a few. He takes a few other bookings in between these dates. Me, I'm only locked in. I'm on an exclusive contract to the Gold Star Podcast. So when there's no Gold Star Podcast, I ain't got no, in-ring work going on. I come onto these things rusty as all hell. And Scott came into the StreamYard extremely late, so I didn't even get a chance.
It's true. It's true. I did.
Before I was backstage like Solo Sikoa doing this, and then we just went in cold. So, forgive me, but we'll be back very soon for episode 6. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't already, like the video and subscribe. And when this video ends, please leave a comment. It will help the algorithm. Scott, what would you like them to comment?
Let us know what your excitement is for the 2 shows we talked about. Obviously, would love to hear it. Love to hear what matches you're looking forward most to. Obviously, there's obvious picks that we talked about, but I think any under the radar matches from this entire week of Japanese wrestling. This isn't just a Joshi show. This is a Japanese wrestling show. So what is your most hyped match of the next 2 weeks? I'd love to hear it. Love to read it. Because I know for me, it goes beyond just these 2 shows. There's a lot of excitement. Obviously, like you said, we'll be back for some sort of Wrestle Kingdom goodness next week. Well, we'll definitely be back next Saturday to talk about that show. That's my only That's my only booking for Wrestle Kingdom. You get my exclusive Wrestle Kingdom thoughts right here. So I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, just let us know what you're enjoying, what you're looking forward to seeing. Because I know for me, that tag match this week got me pumped for Wrestle Kingdom. I was like, oh boy, New Japan might be back, folks. We've heard that about 27 times over the past couple of years, but they actually might be back now.
They might be back. I got a good feeling about that main event in particular. But yeah, that's going to do it for us today. Stay tuned to the Twitter, WrestlePurists, Jamie Ross, WP, Scott E Wrestling, Gold Star Podcast, all these things for updates on when we will be back. Where is the thing? I'm going to end the show. There we go. We got it. Thank you all for watching. We will see you very soon. Goodbye.